Yes, people, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the first Blue Diaries, actually, of pre-season. You know, I've been telling the people that I'm not going to run Blue Diaries as much this summer. I'm going to be doing some smaller panels. And at first, it was meant to just be me and Charlie today. And then it started to get bigger and bigger and bigger because more and more news started to drop. Bears, the man, them were just going back and forth in the group chat. So I was like, you know what? We might as well do a Blue Diaries today, bro. Everyone seems to be available, so we might as well. You know what I'm saying? But we've got 15 people here waiting already. There'll be a lot more people joining. So big up everyone that's here already. Started a little bit later, but yeah, there was a few people I was waiting for. Everyone's still working and stuff. But boys, what are you saying first before I go through the chat, man? Charlie, let me come to you. Just a quick intro, bro. Nothing, not so much on Chels, but what are you saying first of all, bro? It's been a while.
Yeah, bro, it's been a while. All good. But this UK heat wave is different. Like, people don't know from other countries, bro. People don't know what it's like. You know, it's not the same as these temps somewhere else. Like this country's not built for it. So yeah, just surviving, bro. Fans on all day, all that stuff. But yeah, I'm good.
100%, bro. And by the way, my fan is behind my mic. Can you not hear it? Like, let me know in the chat.
You're good. No, you're good, bro. You're good.
I hear it too, yeah. Right here, so I got my fan.
Perfect, man. Andrew, how about you, bro? You're dying in that vest as well, blood.
Listen, we had a previous conversation. I'm not going to do deep the conversation we had previously, but I didn't have that on, and I was out in my garden. So this is I'm just saying it right now. It's a horrible image. It's a horrible image for anyone to think about and understand that, but it is roasting. I bought a paddling pool on, and I just filled it with cold water like that, and that will keep the heat off. Do you know what I mean? For a bit,
yeah.
Stick your tippy toes in there. It's all good. Do you know what I mean? Got ice bucket beside me. Just put some drinks in there and just chill out. Do you know what I mean? Because it's too hot and too humid to do anything. We are not in this country. We are not built for heat like this unless we go on holiday. Do you know what I mean?
Nope,
like that.
We are not built. We are not built at all for this, bro. Like when I was in Santorini, it was like 35 degrees. Yeah, last year 36. But because you're walking on the island, bro, you're just feeling the breeze everywhere you're walking. You could just. It's nice. It just feels nice. Here, it's just like trying to kill us, bro. Yeah, they're trying to fucking kill us. You know what I'm saying? And for the chat, yeah, it was basically just saying how, bro, if we could, we would just come on here topless, innit? But then it would look a bit weird if it was all here, if it was all sitting here topless. You know what I'm saying, bro? Yeah, so we're gonna brush that one there. I saw Matisse put a video yesterday. Big up Matisse. He got rid of his titties and that, you know, and he did the video with a t-shirt off. But I think he had to take that. He's got like a vest. I don't know if you lot have seen his content. He's had this like compression vest on.
Yeah.
So yeah, now big up Matisse. I was chatting to him earlier as well, and he seems to be, you know, kind of on board with this Palestra signing. We'll speak about that today, people. You know, Gusto as well. Like that's come out. They've put a price on him. We'll talk about that. Chalobah. You know what I'm saying? There's been a little bit of a little link there with Chalobah too. Apparently, he's interested in going to Como. Niza Kinsella said that as well, bro. And we'll talk about a few other things like Enzo Fernandez. Now it seems like that's been confirmed now. I saw on the Athletic today that he's their preferred midfielder. That's the guy that Mourinho wants. So we'll talk about that more. But let's see who's in the chat right now, people, man. We've got nearly 100 people here. Big up everyone that's here. Make sure that you lot are smash up the lights. Make sure that you're checking out the sponsor actually before I go through the chat. Jersey FC Soccer Shop, people. Don CFC at checkout. All the man them in my group chats have been stocking up on their kits, man. And like I said, right now it's a little bit too hot. That's why I'm just wearing a plain H&M top right now, bro. But go check them out. Don CFC at checkout for 20% off. They've got all the international kits on there. My boy just got the new PSG kit for this season, the one that's about to come out. And yeah, man, when I was looking at it in person, I'm thinking, yo, I wish I got this for myself. I can't lie, it's nice, bro. It's nice. So go check them out, man. So let's see who's in the chat. Got Natalie here. Big up, Natalie. You got Nehemiah says, big yourself up, bro. Andrew Houdini, it's gonna be a funny show, but a good one. Hey, bro, I'm telling you, man, I'm looking forward to this one. It's been a minute since I've spoken to a few of these guys all together, so big up. Abdi says, everyone like and subscribe. Hey, make sure you're subscribing, bro. We've got 20. We're nearly on 12k. Let's get to 20k real quick, man. You know what I'm saying? Boney says, hit the likes. Never seen you in here, bro, but big yourself up. Q Football says, big up, man. Keith says, big up, Don, big yourself up, bro. Who else have we got in here? Manuel, big up yourself. Who else is here? Sean, as always, big yourself up, bro. You've got my like. Sean says, smash the likes. Big up. Yusuf as well. Big yourself up. But let's start off, boys, with the news that we got yesterday. I think the first bomber that we got was actually from Ornstein, because I was out and about at the time, and he kind of mentioned that Chelsea are Inter Milan, sorry, are looking at Palestra at the minute, but there's strong interest from Chelsea, and usually when you see Ornstein name drop a club or whatever, bro, there's usually something more into it. Because at the beginning you kind of just said there's heavy interest, but nothing more than that. And then you're seeing Fabrizio coming in, all these DiMarzio and that was saying that we could potentially hijack that deal, and it happened pretty quick. You know what I'm saying? It seems to have happened pretty quick, but what I will say is we don't know how quick it was, right? Because we weren't told the whole journey. And Charlie, it needs to stay like that, brother. Yeah? It needs to stay like that because there's too many times where Chelsea are, they want to be the main character in the windows. They want to be the club that are giving everyone content to make. They want to be the club that want to be spoken about by everyone, right? And that's not a good look because most of these guys that we get linked to, most of them we don't land it. These guys are shit executors, right? So for all we know, Palestra, bro, we might have been talking to this guy from like a month ago, or maybe even when the season was ongoing, was looking at him. But we don't know these things, bro, because they haven't been giving us, every day Xabi Simmons, every day Shirley, bro, right? It's been radio silence, but clearly they've been working on things in the background. What's your take so far, Charlie, on just how the summer's been going for you? Have you liked the silence, bro, or have you seen more news?
I think from 2 points of view, we're doing like YouTube and stuff. The silence is not ideal, but in terms of like from an overall perspective, it's a much better way. How many times have we spoken about when are we going to learn our lessons about briefing everything, every day news about the same player, and then we miss out on all those players, and then optically we just like get embarrassed time and time again. And I'd like to think now that, it might be 3 or 4 years too late. We might have finally learned our lesson that we don't need any major news until the deal's virtually done. Because that Palestra thing, as you said, bro, like it looked like he was going into Milan. The 45 plus 5 million euros deal was, I don't think it was accepted, but it was looking like that was going to be agreed and it was going to go Inter. And then before you know it, within 24 hours, like that deal was done and we'd swooped in. And now look, whether Alonso had a conversation or not, I don't know. That's what some reports are saying. But I think the most important...
Apparently he did.
Yeah, apparently he did. I think the most important thing for me is, bro, whether you rate this player or not, whether you like this player, whatever you think of this player, the most important thing is, right, is like Alonso's obviously identified that profile and identified that name, and we've gone and done it. That's the most important thing for me, is whether we think it's too much money, whether we think this guy's whether we think he's Premier League ready, whether he's an improvement to go straight into the starting 11. The biggest thing for me is he was identified, the manager wanted him, and we went and closed the deal. That's all right. It's one signing. We don't know how good he's going to be for us, but optically, from that point of view, that for me is a really important small step in the right direction. And now that needs to continue throughout the summer with other signings in other key areas that need to be addressed. So look, I'm happy with it. I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert and I watched Cagliari every single week last season, because I absolutely didn't. But by all accounts, this guy's got a bit about him. It's sort of, we hear about wanting Premier League ready players, like these mentality monsters these reports have spoken about. It's not that. It is on paper, it's a classic Blue Coast signing, isn't it? It's a 21-year-old Italian wing-back, Serie A Defender of the Year. So from that point of view, you might look at it and think, nothing's really changed. The model's not really changed. It's the same sort of players that we would have been signing anyway. But for me, as long as the manager is being backed and the manager wants this, like, we can't be selective with signings on who the manager's given a say-so to. So if you don't like the player, you can't be like, oh, no, Alonso weren't involved in that. But if you do like the player, oh, he was involved in it. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I'm at the point now where I'm trusting the manager's judgment. It's been well overdue a manager having a bigger say in signings. And let's now it's up to him, because if he's involved in these signings, there's no hiding place for him now. He's got to make these guys work, because these are the guys that he wanted. So, mate, I'm pleased with it. And so let's see what else we can get done. This is one small step on a long road this summer of stuff we've got to sort out.
100%, bro. And Andrew, listen, on first impression, Charlie, you spoke a lot of facts there, bro. And there's a lot of things that you said that I agree with, right? And again, I'm not going to act like I'm I'm an expert on this player, right? Because everyone knows I haven't got my Wise card right now, so I can't come on here and give you like a real intense breakdown of these things. So I just can't watch these players the way that I was before, bro. But trust me, I'm trying to get it back. I am trying to get it back. But to be fair, I found a really good scouting report. I want to, big this guy up here that I found. Let me just share this with you guys, and I'll put a link to his tweet as well, yeah. And one thing that I like to do about these, when we sign these sort of players, and we're looking at these sort of players, yeah, what I like is when I find tweets from the past, from like months ago, right? Even before Chelsea were linked, like actual reports of this player. So I'm not looking at it in a way where it's like, man are only saying this now because he signed for Chelsea. I like looking at these reports from before, and it's always good when they're good reports too, because it's like, okay, it seems like we've signed a good player. And when you look at Palestra, I'm seeing a lot of tweets from like, last November, last December, from sort of January this year as well, before Chelsea sort of came into it. And he seems to be a really physical profile. I think he's like 6'1", 6'2". I've watched quite a lot of the clips in terms of his 1v1 defending, and to be fair, he looks quite solid. It looks quite difficult to get around him, just because of how big he is. You know what I'm saying? Big pulls on that as well, blood. Right? But in terms of progressing the ball, he looks really good at, progressing the ball at speed. One thing that he really likes that I noticed as well in a lot of the clips, yeah, he's one of those guys where he gets the ball, he likes to link up with it, bro. So he'll get it, he'll pass to the next person, he'll run to the space, he'll get it back, he'll run. Very comfortable crossing on his left foot, crossing on his right foot. Apparently he's not the best shooting wise, like Augusto, for example, but he can cross the ball, is what I keep seeing in it. You know what I'm saying? But apparently he's a little bit, nonchalant at the back post as well. But like I said, he has those fundamentals of being able to run up and down, being able to cross the ball, and is very comfortable in those attacking positions, Andrew. Because when you look at someone like Gusto, bro, the amount of times that guy would break down our attacks, yeah, from the cross or just not knowing where to be, it was mad. You know what I'm saying, bro? So for you, like, what's the first impression that you've had of this player, bro? Do you feel like we're gonna go to a back three now because we're signing him? He seems to be like a wing back. What's your first impression of the player, bro? Have you managed to watch a bit of him?
No, I've not. I've not watched any bit of him. I'm probably 99.9% of the fan base really didn't know anything about him until we linked to him. Do you know what I mean? And stuff like that. And then even yesterday, I think it was about 6 o'clock when the first thing dropped about Chelsea trying to hijack it, but Inter were in front and the player favoured staying in Italy and all that stuff. And then 4 hours later, we signed him. But I don't know if we're going to see, because I read that he can play both sides. So he can play right and left.
He's
so
comfortable both-footed, yeah.
It really doesn't confirm to me how we're going to play, because he can play both sides. I like that he's tall, because we lack height in this team. Obviously, you have to use it properly. But like I said, I'm not going to be downhearted about it, because I don't know much about him or anything like that. But it's also not going to be a signing that I'll overdo, because I don't know much about him. It's not an exciting name signing, is it really? Do you know what I mean? And I'm okay with that, by the way. But what I'm saying is, it's not one that gets the Chelsea fans' pulses racing. Do you know what I mean? It goes, oh my God, now I know what they're doing. Of course, the critics will come out, rightfully so, maybe, and say it's another youngster, it's a 21-year-old, 22-year-old, whatever, something like that. And they'll come out, and they're probably right to say that, because they don't know, they haven't watched him and stuff like that. But so it'll be interesting how we use. We've got the stories that Alonso wanted him and made the call. So now, if anything goes wrong, he'll be blamed because he wanted to play. So
the sport director will be blamed.
Yeah, they've already got that in the pipeline. But like I say, it's an interesting signing. That, like you say, Serie A Defender of the Year. Got one over.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Got one over in Inter Milan, who seemed favourites to signing even before the first few bombers dropped yesterday. But yeah, listen, I'll give him all the chances in the world. You know what I mean? Because I don't have a view about him that's been corrupted by seeing him play elsewhere. You know what I mean? So it's an interesting signing, and let's see where we go from there. I mean, it's people are going to say, is it 1 in 1 out because we sold Cucurella? So it's like they're going to say, oh, sell to buy and all that nonsense. But I don't know. It seems like a good price. If he works out, it'll be a great price, won't it? So
Yeah, no, 100%, bro. But yeah, one thing that you mentioned there, yeah, is obviously the fact that he got Defender of the Year in Serie A the last season, bro. And when you go look at that list, I'm seeing Koulibaly got that one season when he was up there, bro, before he came to Chelsea, right? You've had Bastoni winning it. I think he's won it 2 years in a row as well. Now, I'm not saying that means that he's going to come here and he's going to shell it straight away. But
Kim Min-jae,
if Kim Min-jae's been on there as well, to be fair, but they're the sort of accolades I'm trying to hear, individual accolades. If you're trying to sign a player and they've got something like that on their name, that must mean that he was performing to a certain level where it's like, okay, cool, we're gonna look at him to get that achievement. You know what I'm saying? How about you, Rob, man? I know you I already saw your tweet yesterday. I don't even know why I'm asking you, because we all know that when it comes to anything that these fucking sporting directors want to do, you're just there with your mouth wide open. You know what I'm saying?
This is not on the sporting directors. This is on Xabi Alonso. It's a Xabi Alonso signing, right?
Do you think that this is a sign for you that he's gonna get total control now with every signing?
I don't think he's gonna get total control. I don't think if he said I want Palestra and the scouts look at him like we don't think that highly of him. I don't think he would have I don't think we would have gone for him. I think Xabi Alonso, the reason I believe that he gets more power than everybody else is that Palestra was maybe somebody that our scouting department had already identified, and Xabi Alonso said, "Yeah, that's him. I want him." But they were all on the same page. But he looks a good talent. Like Andrew, I'm not gonna see and pretend like I've watched 35 or 36 games of his. No, he seems a good talent. He seems good at again. This summer, I'm at that point where when you show his attacking and dribbling, like for me, if you're a defender, primarily I need you to defend, to not defend. Oh, I need a center back that can break lines, that can do that, but I have Tosin if I want somebody that can break lines, right? I need a center back who can defend first. I need a fullback who can defend first. Attacking, yes, you need to have that into your game, but it's not a priority like this is the first thing I'm gonna look at when I'm looking at a defender, because we need to be able to maintain clean sheets, right? Timber is not good attacking, but he's when it comes to defending, he will lock you down, and that's what we're looking at. So Palestra, good, Serie A Defender of the Year. It looks like a good talent. Looks like Xabi Alonso was heavily involved in the deal, which is something you love to see. With a manager that gets, the first signing that he gets is actually a player that he wants. That's a good sign. And hopefully he comes here. And again, I'm like Andrew. I think people are thinking this is a Gusto replacement. I think this is more of a Cucurella replacement, because I don't think if Cucurella stays at Chelsea, we go and hijack Inter for Palestra. I just don't think we'll do that.
I'm not too sure on that, to be honest with you, man, because me and Charlie was, again, speaking in the group earlier, right? I mean, one link that we've had is Chelsea have internally discussed Leeds fullback Goodmanson as an option to replace Cuckoo. And to be fair, this guy's actually a decent player. You know what I mean? He's a decent guy, bro. I've watched a few Leeds games this season, and he seems to be, one that stands out. I ever remember when he played at Old Trafford, bro. He played really well there, man. Up and down, strong, bro, solid, right? It seems like that's the sort of profile that they're going for, Charlie. Now they're trying to add more, physicality in the team. Ramon, this Jacob Ramon guy. Ashraf says it's not him at all, but I think he's like 6'4". This guy here as well. He must be over 6 foot, bro, because
he's 5'11". He's 5'11".
5'11".
Would his signing confirm? I'm just saying, if we were to sign this guy, would that confirm to you 3 at the back?
I think it would, man.
I think Palestra confirmed 3 at the back.
They started playing when Leeds went to 3 at the back. Leeds went to 3 at the back halfway through the season, and that because they were leaking too many goals for their liking. So I think if he's a sign or any type of player like that, that would confirm to me with moving in a direction of 3 at the back.
How would you feel about that, Charlie? In terms of
I think it raises a lot of interesting questions, right? Because you look at, if you go to 3 at the back, right, you're then looking at 3 at the back. You don't really play with wingers, so that therefore means that are you going to be doing Quenda as an option at left wing back or whatever? What would you do with Pedro Neto? Do you play him as one of them narrow 10s? What you know? Do you know what I mean? Like, it suddenly then raises you a lot of options, because then those wide players that you've heavily invested in, like, do we really spend 50 million quid on Gittins to then shift him to left wing back? I don't think so. One of the main reasons that we signed Quenda, why Quenda picked us over Man United at the time, was that he didn't want to play wing back. If we go to a 3, I'm not saying that Quenda couldn't be one of those twin 10s behind the centre forward, but that's not really why we signed him. That's not really why Garnacho was signed if he happens to stay. That's not why these guys were signed. So then you suddenly got a load of players that you're then struggling to find a role for, or you're shoehorning them into a role in the team that don't really suit them for this system. Now, if you're going to bring a manager in who plays this system, which is a very specific system, then you have to back him and give him the players. We saw it with Amorim. They didn't give him the players. It was a complete disaster. So if that means having to take big hits on players that we signed last summer, then so be it, because there's nothing worse than bringing a new manager in to play a system that he wants to play and then giving him players that don't fit the system at all. So I wouldn't be against the back 3, but it leaves a lot of question marks over a number of them attacking players as to where they actually fit in, because there's no real clear position to where they fit if we do play a back 3. So
I tell you what it does if you do play 3 at the back. You're going to need 6 centre backs or 5 centre backs and a full back who can play. Or 5 and a full back who can play as one of the 3 centre backs either side of the centre one. That's what it would mean to me. So this, you know, we'll probably talk about it later with all the other things that are happening. But that's what, if we do play 3 at the back. I'm hoping it's just one of those. I don't want him to be rigid to one system, yeah, because that system is not going to work for every game. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be sometimes where he has to play 4 at the back and put in an extra midfielder, an extra attacker because we need to go now. I just hope he's fluid with it, that he buys players that can play either 4 or 3 at the back.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, bro, he has said that. Have you ever listened to any in-depth?
Yeah, I don't want an Amorim thing like you just said. Like you said, with Amorim, one of his issues, Amorim, was he was so fixated with the 3 at the back, no matter what, no matter who came in, and that was the same with in Tuchel's last few days with us. He was so rigid with the 3 at the back. I think with Ziyech to right wing back. You know what I mean, and stuff like that.
With Alonso though, like if you listen to stuff that he said in depth, he's like, he might have a preferred system, but he speaks so many times about wanting his teams to be proficient in multiple different systems. Whilst the 3 could be the main one, but it wouldn't be like a 3 every game. Like, to be a good team, you've got to be proficient in multiple systems. So I wouldn't be as worried about Alonso in that regard. I don't think he'd be the same in terms of that rigidity to a system like an Amorim would be. But at the same time, as you said, you know, it does raise question marks about what we do with a lot of these players that we spent big money on, because the system doesn't actually fit a lot of them, particularly a lot of those attackers we signed.
Yeah. No, you're right. You are right when you say that, man. And big up everyone that's here. We've got nearly 200 people here. Big up AJ. It's been a set, bro, man. What are you saying?
Yes, sir. Big up the chat. Big up the panel, man. What's going on? Dying, I see you on the streets, man. Keep going, bro.
Thank you, bro, man. Thank you, bro, man. It's fucking steaming out here in London, but what's not steaming right now is the like count. Yeah, we've got 36 likes, man. We've got nearly 200 people here. Come on, people, you lot smash up those likes. Make sure that you.
It's just an England attacking performance with these likes. Come on, man.
No, I don't even want to talk about England today. That's gonna be a separate thing, because otherwise I'll just get bored again. You know what I mean? I'll get bored talking about the same thing, bro. I've got streams from the last Euros. I promise you could just run it up again. You can just run it up again. What I said last Euros, you can run it up again, bro. How about you, Ads? What you saying, man?
Big you up. Listen, big you up. Big up the panel. Big up the chat as well. Obviously, big up everybody who got an early night sleep, because if you watched the game, you got an early night sleep, bro. You slept off because that game was dead. That game was dead. And listen, we won't talk about England here, but the Croatia game, that was just that was a flash in the pan, bro. That was a polar bear in Texas, bro. We don't see England play like that regularly, bro. That's why Ghana was factory settings, but. Yeah, man. Anyways, let's talk about our other, ugly duckling as a club, which is England. Oh, sorry, which is Chelsea. Let's talk about Chelsea.
Let's talk about that, man. Let me come to you first, Ads, because Rob said something earlier about he wants his defenders to be able to defend first, and I get the logic, right? But when you talk about systems, the way Andrew has been speaking about it, and obviously Charlie's speaking about it, right? And when you're looking at a back three, bro, for me, I've never really been a fan of it because it's a system that you need specific niche players to be able to really have a functioning back three. You know what I'm saying? Like when we had Conte, we had Azpilicueta, bro, like playing at centre back with, you know, Victor Moses and Alonso. They could both do it. Moses' position even got changed. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't come in as a wing back, right? We had the midfield that we did, bro. We had the attack that we did with Hazard and that. Costa. It all came together and it worked, right? Because we had the right personnel to do it. What's your take on what Rob said about, you know, I want them to be able to just defend first? Because Palestra, I'm sorry, in this system, you need your wing backs to be able to attack, bro.
Yeah, no, 100%. Listen, Rob says a lot of things. A lot of them aren't very. We'll leave Rob aside for now. Let's talk about the actual football there, right? So with Palestra, like he's actually a decent young talent, right? He's got a lot of good attributes actually offensively as well. Obviously, you've seen his dribbling numbers, which are quite good. I've seen him actually, you know, do quite decent in the attack. Able to dribble with actually both feet as well, which is quite a unique attribute for a fullback / wing back. Not many of them are actually good at both their feet.
Come on, his height as well, bro.
And his height too, which he has a lot of good attributes that I actually like. So I actually like the signing, I'll be honest. I think I've heard a lot of negativity towards it, or maybe what it means with the system and all of that. But let's leave all the negativity in the past, man. Let's actually try and give what we're seeing right now, this ownership, at least a chance to breathe, innit? That's what I'm saying. But for me, I like the signing. I think he's got a lot of good attributes. I think he will be an upgrade on Gusto long term. So I don't really see too much wrong with it, as long as we then add to the signing.
No, 100, bro. I think, yeah, with this one, you can only really judge. I'm seeing a lot of people trying to, like, write off the summer already. And I'm like, bro, judge it at the end, AJ. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Judge it at the end. Everyone's so obsessed with getting that dopamine of bombers. But then these are the same people that are going to be losing sleep when these bombers don't fucking turn into players putting on the Chelsea top, bro. You know what I'm saying? I've liked the silence. I've been telling the man them. I've been telling the panel, you know, the chat. Bro, I'm happy that we are silent for a change, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy about that. But what do you want to see, AJ, like going forward in terms of the setup? Man?
I just say that let's judge it by the start of preseason. That's when we have to like judge it. Because if we haven't done our business by then, okay, then I'm gonna start getting mad.
Okay, then by preseason, by preseason, I want to see maybe another 1-2 bodies in it. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not gonna make a full judgment on the season, the window, until the summer. Until the summer's done, bro. Until the window closes. But things could change as well, bro. Like, if you look at Arsenal, for example, they weren't going to sign Eze. And then Kai Havertz got injured and they had to go and change their plans quickly. Right? Something like that could happen to us. So we can't fully judge.
Like your best centre-back gets injured and then you go something, oh no, you don't go.
Exactly, bro. If something like that to happen, we'll see if they've learned their lesson if something like that was to happen again. But how about you, AJ, bro? How are you feeling about potentially going into a back three? Like, is that a shape that you've liked? Obviously, I didn't know you, man, when we had content and that, and I wasn't on YouTube at the time. What's your take on that, bro? Is that a system that you want to see with the players that we've got?
I'd say that back three, back five is not my favorite system. I'm more, you know, I like to see my attackers on the field, you know, getting at defenses. Now, with that being said, you know, we did win the title in a back three, but we did have Eden Hazard and we did have Diego Costa. These are two guys that are, you know, super efficient attackers. They know what to do. They can beat their man. They have clutch moments. They just understand. It's a different level, and I don't think we have that type of player or those types of players. I know everybody says Cole Palmer was supposed to be that guy, but right now he's not that. You know, we just don't have those levels of players. So it's not my favorite system, but we've seen it work. You know, it's Chelsea heritage. We had one game a week when we did it last time, and we won the title. So, listen, I'm going into the season saying I want a title race because we have one game a week, we got a decent manager. We we should have a system that should protect us defensively. You know, I think if we are, you know, with some luck and with some couple more signings, I think we can do well this season. So I'm gonna have a positive, you know, optimism about it. But we'll see. Like you said, we gotta wait and see who we sign. We gotta wait and see who other people sign. We gotta see how we start the season because the World Cup is gonna change things. there's a lot of things up in the air right now, so it's hard.
Let me ask you this, AJ. Let me ask you this. You mentioned about we had Hazard and Costa in those times when we won it with the back five back five. Don't you think that then it was maintain solidity defensively and then give it to your attacking player to use the individual brilliance? Whereas now with Xabi Alonso, the attacking is gonna be more of a systematic thing, right? Where when we attack, it's more the system attacking rather than under Conte was Eden Hazard going to madness, Diego Costa finishing, Willian doing coming in with what he can chip in with, and then everybody else chipped in. But I think this one is gonna be more of a it's a system thing.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying because the sport has changed. First of all, I think it's very robotic. It's like choreographed. Where it's like you have to pass to him and you have to pass to him and you can't go. It's different. So I hear what you're saying. That's a good point. I think that's a point that the casual football fan is not going to realize because that's just not how they're watching the game.
Oh, Andy just said I'm not a casual football fan. I don't know ads. I'm not a casual football fan.
It's a different way of playing the game. So Xabi Alonso plays that. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch too much Xabi Alonso, but I assume he's from Spain. They play that slow build up, a million passes, which is it could work up to a certain point, but I hope that he introduces some sort of freedom to the attackers because I think that's needed. But I think that's a good point, Rob.
That's how he plays in it. And like for me, I don't mind the back three. I actually like back three football because for me, if you're defensive and you play 3 centre backs and 2 fullbacks at wing back, then that's very defensive. But if you play 2 wing backs that can actually attack, let's say one's Victor Moses, let's say the left one is let's say Hudson-Odoi, if you actually like Hudson-Odoi as wing back, then that's 2 attacking players as your wing backs. Then your 10s, Palmer and let's say Pedro behind the striker. It's a very attacking system. If you look at it like this,
I've purposely put this this lineup. This lineup is blank right now, right? So what we're gonna do, people, is we're gonna create and build a squad that potentially could be what we're seeing next season. So let's go with some players that we've been linked with, for example, and players that we know will definitely be here, right? So I'll start off with you, Charlie, right? Let's go through. I'll let you pick the goalkeeper. I think it'll probably still be Sanchez and Ghana.
It'll still be Sanchez,
goalkeeper,
unfortunately.
Pick 2 of those defenders, bro. Based off of links two as well.
Bro, I think look, for me, Maxence Lacroix needs to be sorted out. That would be the one that I would be looking to get done as quickly as possible. I think if you're looking to go within the Premier League and you're looking at attainable centre-back targets for us in our current position, it doesn't actually get much better than him. He's 26 years old. He's Premier League ready. He's proven himself in the league, comfortable in a back 3 system that he's played at Palace. France international, part of the World Cup squad, brings leadership, height, physicality, all things that we're missing. That for me would be the one I'd look at and think, you've got to go and get that done. So I'll be looking at a Lacroix at the back there in a 3.
Where would you put him though? Would you put him down the middle? Would you
got to be right centre back.
I think you've got to be looking at the right side for me. And then you could have Colwell central potentially, but then you've got options again, innit? Because like that left side, you could easily play Hato as a left centre back, but then we're linked with this Ramon guy. Would he be that? Would he be more centre? I don't know. My only issue with being linked with someone like Ramon is that we've constantly been told that we're going to be targeting Premier League ready players or Premier League proven players, right? And if you end up signing 2 guys in their early 20s from Serie A, that's completely against what they said they were going to go and do. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that we might not add others that are Premier League ready or proven on top of those signings. But optically, when you hear all that stuff coming out, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and then like 2 of your signings are guys in their early 20s from Serie A who are relatively unproven, it doesn't give the impression that we're kind of learning or whatever. So, for me, the left side's an interesting one because, I'll probably go Hato left side, but I think you have to. For me, you've got to add Lacroix. Like,
if I may jump in here, like I can agree.
Let me respond to him quickly, Ads, and then I'll let you jump in. Me and Charlie was actually talking about this earlier, right? If you play Lacroix there, the problem is, where does Reece go then?
I agree, bro. And this is where it's a problem. This is where it's a problem, right? Because you sign Palestra, and I think all of us would agree here that Reece at right wing back, those days are probably sadly behind us. You're not going to see it, and so that leaves you two options. Reece plays as a right centre back in a 3, which we've seen before, and I think would suit him. Or he plays in the pivot alongside Caicedo. But then I think a lot of us don't really want to see him in midfield on a regular basis or at all. So it does leave you with a problem that one of our best players in James, you're sort of thinking, right, well, in a 3, it's right. Yeah, he has to play right centre back.
I think for me personally, this would make more sense. Go on, Ads. I think this makes more sense for me.
That would make sense. Yeah,
to a degree. I just feel like I don't know if Lacroix is like a centre back in terms of how we play on the ball. I feel like Levi would suit being the centre back more to dictating. That's why. But you could play Lacroix on the left, but then obviously like he's a right footer. He's left. He's not really got like a left foot. He's not even that great on the ball in my opinion.
Cahill played on the right.
So he did. Gary Cahill played a bit on the left.
Lacroix's a classic defender, bro. Classic centre.
Exactly, that's my point. So, like, if you're going to put somebody on the left, that's a right foot, and naturally, there's got to be like a David Luiz type or like a Van Dijk type where they're comfortable on the ball and they can spray it with both feet. Like, Lacroix is not that. So, my thing is, I don't mind Lacroix right centre back. I don't mind Reece James right wing back. But again, just for the sake of conversation, we don't have to have that debate today. What I'll say is, if you're going to bring in Lacroix, it's tricky. For me, if Reece James is going to be playing in this system, right? Because again, for me, you tailor to your best players, right? Our best players are clearly Reece James, Caicedo, maybe Cole Palmer if he's back to it, right? These kind of players you tailor for. So if you're going to play a wing back system, okay. If you don't want to play Reece James right wing back, then you're playing right centre back. Cool. For me, then you don't bring in Lacroix. For me, you bring in somebody who can play centre back and be a dominant like leader at the back. Which for me, how many of those people are on the market? You have to look, and there's guys out there I can mention, but the point is, to save arguments, right? If we knew somebody like Thiago Silva from when he was, I don't know, in his mid or maybe even late early 30s was available on the market, would anybody be against that signing here? Would anybody? I don't think so. So like if he was available, we would all say, oh, get somebody like that. He's experienced. You'd have Colwell one side, Reece James the other side, or Lacroix, whoever, and then that solidifies your back 3. It's about what centre back that they're going to have to go and find.
I agree with you up until you said, then don't get them. Because I think, first of all, if you just look at the defenders we have, it's like 7 or whatever, most of them can't defend properly. We need somebody who can just defend properly. We say he's a classic defender. That's exactly what we need now.
I hear it
right now. And on top of that, I think we'll play back 5, but we might play back 4 as well too. He fits in as a back 4 player as well. So I think he's the type of player like a no nonsense, aggressive, physical. Like we don't have that. Body of Shield is soft. The Sassy doesn't touch the field. Tosin is soft.
I do, but if you're starting Lacroix, don't you want him started every single game, right?
I want him to start every single game.
I want to start the best players that we can
get. I want the best players as well, though. I'm not doing this. Oh, Reece James might. Oh, fuck all that, bro. We're not doing that no more.
I hear it. I hear
I knew I wasn't losing my mind, bro. Lacroix plays down the middle for them, bro, and then either side.
Yeah, and I saw you put the message up, but like that doesn't mean he can play centre back for Chelsea, and we have 70% of the ball against dead teams. Palace play a counter-attacking football, so man then can laugh at me like, he plays centre back. We caught out Ads. You didn't catch me out, bro. With that, bro, he plays centre back in a team that doesn't play possession football. I watched Lacroix for many years when he was in Germany. He's not known for being good on the ball. He's known for being a no-nonsense defender with crazy pace.
But the thing is, the point here though is, when you talk about the build-up will be coming from Colwell on the left, right? And Reece on this side as well. You know what I'm saying? And for me, like on the ball, this shape here could even turn into just a back 2 where you've got Lacroix right centre back, Colwell here, and then Reece might even go into the middle. Reece might go a little bit further up in this sort of area as well. You know what I'm saying? So for me, like when I'm looking at Lacroix in the middle, I'm not against it. I'm not expecting him to be like a ball playing centre back because that's not what he is. right?
Yeah.
But like AJ has said, it's been a minute. Like even Rob said earlier, bro. It's been a minute where we've had defenders that just love defending, and that's the vibe that I get from Lacroix.
But this is,
and it adds that height. It adds that height to the back line as well, right?
But what it also does is though, like I don't want to throw it too far forward, but you look at someone like Hato, for example, right? Who was decent over the second half of last season, but most of those good performances came when he played at centre back. So then we're looking at it, right? I'm not saying that Hato would be a new signing because he's not, but how do we think Hato plays as a wing back, for example? Now, we haven't seen enough of him out there, but could you see Hato replicating what Grimaldo did, for example, in Alonso's Leverkusen? No, you don't see that because I don't think he's that kind of player.
He's not the same type.
So what sort of a left wing back would Hato be? And then I sort of think, well, in a back three, Hato would be better as a left centre back option rather than a left wing back. So
you're the first person I've heard say that, you know.
He would actually be very good there. Very good.
Hato left centre back.
I like him at left centre back. I like him at left centre back, but I think he can do the up and down thing at left wing back.
But you think he can do the wing back thing though?
I don't.
Say that again, AJ.
I'd say he's good for both. I think he has the skill set to do both roles, whether center back or left.
We was literally all saying we'd rather him play there instead of fucking Cucurella, bro. Like further up.
But wing back is more offensive than left back. That's the thing. Wing back is more offensive than left back. So like, I think he can do wing back, but left back going forward, that's cool. But I think to Charlie's point, he'd be great as a left centre back. I think that's actually probably perfect for him.
Similar to Reece. Reece is better on the ball, obviously, but it's a similar style, you know, if he was to play on that left centre back.
But then you have him as the back three. You just need another like a top centre back to like control the back line. Because obviously it's him, Levi, and Lacroix. That's cool, but they're all relatively young. Like, you know, I mean, I was like,
the class 26.
Well, yeah, 26. But like, again, okay. In terms of the centre back that I want somebody that's like in their prime and like ready to be the actual leader of the back line. That's what I want personally. Especially you're gonna have Hato in there.
My problem with this.
Saying, but you've got Lacroix 26, Reece is 26. Cole's the younger one at 22. You know what I mean? I think they're very experienced Premier League.
But this for me, this
isn't a bad back line. I'll be honest. If this was the back line for the season, I'd be quite okay.
I do not. This one terrible, in my opinion. For one, I don't think Reece is centre back. He's too undersized for being a centre back, right?
He's 6 foot, bro. What are you on about undersized?
He's not a centre back. We are trying to shoehorn Reece James somewhere on the pitch, right? He can play we have to find when we know if we have Lacroix here, our best if you play in the back three, it's Levi Cole in the middle, Hato on the left, and Lacroix in the middle. If you want to get the best out of Levi Cole, you need to have two aggressive defenders on either side of him, in Lacroix and Hato. Physical, quick, and then Levi is a sweeper. For me, Reece is not a centre back. If you want to play Reece in the system, you'll be putting him in as I don't want to say a square peg in a round hole, but it'll be your shoehorning because his name is.
So you're shoehorning in one of your best players, though. One of your best players, though. Bro. You realize that?
This is the thing, though. We all agree. Palestra would be starting right wing back.
No, I don't agree. I would still start Reece James wing back, bro. Like Palestra's cool. He's a good backup. He's better than Gusto, but he's better than Reece James.
You see, this is the problem, Rob. If you're not putting Reece in at right centre back, it's either you're risking his legs to go within 5 Premier League games, and that was long. now you're having to use Palestra every game, basically, right? Or we're putting him back in the midfield, and we're having conversations again that you always want to have with us. By the way, well, me and you are on the same page about Reece in the midfield. So what are you saying then, Rob? Are you saying that Reece shouldn't be in the
I've been saying this from the moment Alonso got appointed. I said Reece James will be a dilemma for Alonso. Reece James will be, because he's gonna have to.
Reece James will be a what? He'll be a what? He'll be a what?
He will
dilemma.
You'll be a dilemma. No, Rob's not capping though.
Yeah, he will be a dilemma.
If you're not playing a back four, it is a bit of a dilemma.
Well, he's a dilemma for every man.
He's the best dilemma in the league, bro. Like, I hear it, but like, it's Reece James though. Like, you're talking about one of the best players in the league.
I know it's Reece James, but he's not the 2021 Reece James. He's the 2026 Reece James. The two different Reece Jameses.
Let me just dispel Rob's theory about Reece with his height. Would you say the same when Aspilicueta was playing in the back three?
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was gonna say that.
Also, if you remember, Aspilicueta was was an assist leader for Morata's first season, playing right centre back for
the crosses, bruv.
So, and we're talking about right centre back of a back three, not a back two. We're talking right centre back of a back three. So I think Reece has got the physique to actually play that role very well. I think he can do that.
That's a good point.
Defensively, I know it's far back, but he can do it defensively, guys. Defensively, we shouldn't be worried about him.
Aspilicueta did get targeted though at that right center back position.
Yeah, but he was short and he's not that great at jumping. Reece James is a great jumper.
I don't remember.
The problem you've got is
both points are valid. Both points are valid.
What you're saying makes perfect sense. It depends on how you want to build the back. Really.
This is the thing, though, Don, isn't it? The problem you've got is, right, generally speaking, you want to build the team around your best players, right? So Reece James is probably our best player or definitely one of our best players. So you put him in his best position and you build the rest of the team. The problem is, though, is that if it was just a normal Reece James, right wing back, get him run up and down, no problem. And this conversation isn't needed. But the problem we got is that his body's probably not even really capable of that. Yeah, in a one-off game, you might be able to do it. Could he be that more defensive right wing back that doesn't get us forward as much, and you rely on the left-sided wing back to bomb up and down and provide you that width and almost play as a winger, whilst he maybe plays as more of a defensive-minded wing back? Maybe you could get around it that way, but it's a fair point to say that.
Changing your system for Reece James makes no sense.
But this is the problem, though, Rob. Like you're either changing the system for Reece James, which is not ideal or you're building a system around him. You got to pick which one you want to go for, because he's going to play. If he's fit, he's playing, and he's one of our best players. So we've got to find a way to get him in the team in his best position.
The same way you see Tuchel using him is the same way he's going to be used. Like, I don't know why he's not going to play right wing back. You know, he might play right wing back for 1 or 2 games, but in the general, he's going to be a right center back or a midfielder. That's what he is right now.
Problem, though.
There is more recovery time this season.
You come to be able to rely on Noni Madueke crosses over Reece James's crosses, because Reece James is not going and bombing.
Yeah, but that's an England problem, and that's just down to bad management. Like, if you play Reece James as a right centre back, that's cool. You get the right centre backs, you get like proper centre backs alongside him. That's cool, and you have a really good wing back that's good offensively. Then it's calm. It's very calm. Yeah, man. Make a problem out of Reece James. Like, let's understand what Reece James brings to the team offensively and defensively.
It's not Daniel James we're talking about. It's fucking Reece James, for Christ's sake.
Honestly, maybe you left your glasses somewhere like this. It's Reece James we're talking about.
No, but
Reece James.
If you give me a choice, would I rather have Lacroix as my right centre back or Reece James? It's Lacroix all day long.
Yeah, cool. I hear that, but guess what? We have one of those players right now, and they're our captain. So it's Reece James. So that's why I said I like Lacroix. I would sign Lacroix. But if the aim is the back three, right? Which I don't. Let's see how it works. If the aim is the back three, okay, we don't necessarily need to get Lacroix. Maybe we get a different type of profile. But again, let's see. But my main point is Reece James is starting in this team. Whether I don't care, right centre back, right wing back, and it's great.
Are we so just to confirm, man? Then just to move on to the next bit, the next part of the team, because there's other talking points I want to speak about as well, right? Before we talk about the midfield and the attack and that, are we putting Reece at right wing back then? Is everyone putting Reece at right wing back?
No, we know he's not gonna play there.
I think
where are you putting him, AJ? Where are you putting him then, AJ?
Right centre back.
Where I'm putting Reece James right now, he's playing right centre back.
Yeah,
the defense again. So then, Cole left centre back. Yeah, Lacroix down the middle and then Reece right centre back.
Yeah, right now that's what it is. We got to see.
And Hato holds bench.
Hato will be bench. Yeah,
Hato's a rotational left centre back and left wing back.
You again. I know people now. He's like prime Maldini, but are we again? I'm not comfortable leaving Cole in the wide area as I am with Hato defending.
Oh no, we're not doing this again. We're not doing this again. We're not.
I'm here all day.
You're basing your cooking of Levi Colwill in wide areas under Pochettino at left back. That's what you're basing your whole Levi Colwill in wide areas to.
It's a
horrible take, bro. It's a horrible take.
The thing is, I'm not even saying that, he's fucking, I don't know, Gabriel in the wide areas. I'm not saying that, yeah. But one thing I have noticed, Rob, I can't lie, in those wider areas, bro, Colwill's improved, When you
He
watch
has.
him now, he's actually
He's
proving
older
his
now.
even the few games where he just came back, yeah, there was even a moment where I just saw man sprint there and he just slide tackle the guy, and I'm like, yo, for you to have that mentality to do that when you've just had a big knee injury, bro,
Facts.
for
I
me,
saw that.
that's mad. You know what I'm
Like,
saying?
he's getting better, he's building confidence, his experience, and he's not playing left back.
That was him as a sweeper. That was him as a sweeper, right? Hato
But we're still in the wide area. We're still in the wide area.
Always can, yes, but he's in as a left center back, he'll be the one engaging with the attacker. And for me, you saw him against Forest. He engaged, he got played through, and then the Forest went in and scored. I don't have.
But that's why, Rob. Yeah, that's why we're gonna need someone on the other side who's dynamic enough to be up and down, right? Because there will be holes. Just before you come in, Charlie, yeah, like there will be holes left here, right? When the left wing back goes forward, because at the end of the day, you can't be running up and down and then get all the way back instantly without leaving space. There's gonna be space there, but that person's gonna be running up and down and helping him too.
Yeah, he did. He come on second half of the half-time sub. Yeah,
he came on
as a sub at half-time.
He made a mistake that led to the goal because he jumped too quickly.
We were already two.
Go on, Charlie.
I was going to say the left wing back situation is an interesting one, right? Because we're obviously going to have to go and sign another profile, unless part of the reason. I know Palestra can play both sides. He only played a couple games last season at left wing back, but some of the reports saying that the versatility was a big appeal to Chelsea. I wouldn't be surprised, right, if we have a situation where Hato's used on that left-hand side. Barco is another option at the left wing back. And then Palestra also covers that left wing back scenario. Plus, you could use a Quenda or whatever. I wouldn't be 100% certain that we'll go and sign a specific left wing back profile. But then the problem with that is, right, as a lot of us have said, is that for this system to work, you need specific niche profiles that fit the role. And so if you're trying to shoe in a Quenda, for example, or a Barco, these guys that aren't really specialists in those positions, that's quite difficult. Yep. So
for me, Hato makes everyone right now. Out of everyone right now, AJ, yeah, like Hato makes the most sense for me here, bro.
Agreed.
Right now, yeah.
Based on what we have right now, definitely.
Yeah, it makes the most sense.
Though, but yeah.
Let me quickly read the super chat. Here. Right? It says, big up Chris. It says Chelsea finished the 2015-2016 Premier League season in 10th place. Went on to win the league in 16-17 with a back three. I will see what preseason shows. Hey, hopefully we can run it up again, man. Because boy, we've been getting cooked, bro. Last season, the worst one I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? Or Neto, Tanzino, big yourself up. What we said about Neto at left wing back?
We've been saying this, bro. Neto wing back is where it needs to be. It needs to be a wing back.
He's gonna be sold. He's gonna be sold next time.
He's most likely gonna be sold. Yeah. I reckon he's. I think he's a gunner as well.
If he isn't sold, wing back.
You guys would sell Neto, like you would want to sell him?
No, but
I'll sell him for Bowen.
Yeah, but this goes back to the problem I mentioned earlier. Is that you've got, when you play this system, as I was saying, suddenly a load of these guys you spent big money on, they don't really fit, and so you've got problems. And this is what we're finding right now. Even like we haven't even finished the team anywhere near. We've already got issues about how about trying to shoehorn these guys in. Which is why I'm not against the back three, but you've got to do a lot of work in the transfer market to get those profiles in. Because if you're going to do a back three, there's no point shoehorning players in because it's not going to work. If you do the back three, you back the manager and you go and buy those profiles that fit the back three. Otherwise, you're going to have big problems, I think.
If I may say, right, because this is if I can say on this, right, because this is sort of like the negativity I was caught in when I came into the show, right, listen to Charlie talk, and I hear it, because listen, the dumbest thing we could do as a club is have the season we just had, which Don said is the worst he's ever seen, and I agree, the worst I ever seen, and then go and follow that up by getting a manager you actually rate, but then playing a back three, and then tailoring just to play in a back three, and having a season on par with what Amorim did with Man United, where he didn't really back him, but also he had a horrible season anyways, and that's my thing, it's like, if they couldn't, like, last season was embarrassing, especially from the board. I bought that Rob while he's sipping his drink. Remember that you backed that board, elite recruiters and that horrible season. Never forget that. But just to finish my point, right? The only way you can make it worse is by then going and playing a back three for the whole season and then not actually buying enough to make it work. Yeah. Then you would literally be killing the club at that point. But again, I'm going to give it time. I don't mind the back three if you just actually buy the correct players.
Yeah, and that's where it looks like we're heading. I can't lie. It looks like we're heading that way, bro. So a few people are saying Quenda left wing back. Are we saying Hato over Quenda there, or are we putting Quenda there?
I'm sorry. I'm not having Hato left wing back. I just don't think he cuts it.
Go Quenda.
What do you like about it?
Rather him than Quenda, surely.
Attacking wise, I just don't think he does it. It's just
you don't like Hato attacking, bro.
Nah, I'm not seeing him putting any decent crosses or anything.
What do you like about him going forward? You think his crossing's bad?
No, I just think he's too regimented. Like it's a defensive wing back. That he has.
Yeah, I agree.
It'd be like Cucurella.
Nobody's mentioned Achimpong. You know, that would be a right centre back option, and could potentially be a right wing back option.
About 5 to 6 centre backs and play back three.
Yeah, but this is the thing though, because like we hear all this stuff. Oh, Achimpong's now on the untouchables list, right? And so you surely think, but we hear this all the time. Oh, Chelsea love Achimpong, turn down big money, all this nonsense every time. And then no managers ever give him any minutes. So if he's been told that he's going to be part of Alonso's plans, playing once a week, like there's not going to be that many opportunities. So is he suddenly going to become a major part of this or not? I don't know. Chelsea can say he's untouchable and all this. I wouldn't be surprised. That's why. For me, I think that's probably why they're looking to sell the likes of Chalobah to make space for him. And maybe, but again, even if you sell these centre backs, right? Even if we sign 2 centre backs, let's say for argument's sake, we sign Lacroix and we sign this Ramon guy from Como as an example, right? What does that mean for Josh? You've signed 2 more centre backs and you've signed another right wing back. What does that say? What does that say for him?
He needs to go on alone, though. Like, let's talk honest. He needs to go on alone. He's not starting for Chelsea. He's not good enough to be starting for Chelsea.
But can we go back to the conversation about wing backs, though?
Hold on, go back a little bit. Yeah, AJ, where would you send him on loan, bro?
Somewhere if he could go somewhere in the Premier League, somewhere in the Championship.
Alex would be good.
Yes.
It's too good. I think it's too good for Championship, bro. I think keep him in the Premier League.
I don't know. I'm not. What are you basing that on?
I don't agree with that, Don.
I'm not really basing it on much, but the fact is, like there's teams like Bournemouth that wanted to take a punt on this guy. I'm taking him there, bro. A team like a Bournemouth, I think that'll be a good thing. Is teams like that, it's hard to just loan him out there because following year they'll probably most likely buy him, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Probably sort of.
My thing is he? Because I don't think we ever had this honest conversation about Achimpong. One thing I say is we haven't seen a lot of him, but from what I've seen of him, I only see him as like an athletic type of guy. He doesn't really seem like too top with the ball at his feet. You understand? Yeah. So I don't know how. That's
you don't rate Josh on the ball.
Good ball carrier. That's what really
he's. I say he's good carrying the ball and eating up space, but I need to see him like. That's why I'd say he needs to go on a loan because it's like I don't really know what he's great at. You understand?
Yeah.
Besides,
it has to be a loan where you guarantee he's going to play.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's what he needs.
Nobody can send him a loan and just put a clause in that contract saying, well, if you don't play him, you have to pay us $5 million because that serves nobody any purpose. So do you send him to Strasbourg because that's the only place you can guarantee that he's going to play week in and week out, or do you send him? I don't know. For me, if a championship club like Southampton, like one of the top championship teams, even West Ham for crying out loud, they're losing everybody. If you get that would be good. That would be good for him. That's a great shout.
If I can just, I agree with the sentiment of. I agree with the sentiment of like having him go on loan. I think he'd be good on loan. I feel like that's where he should be playing week in week out, and then he can actually prove his skill set. I think he's good on the ball. I think he's good at the. Pardon?
He's good at carrying the ball, passing the ball.
I think the club. I think Chelsea would rather sell him though. Chelsea, from a club perspective, I think.
I don't think they rate him that high. I don't think they would rather.
I think they'd rather sell him than loan him out. I think they'd rather.
But me, it would be stupid, right? He's a very good asset that you want to loan out so that you can let him play for a whole season and probably build his value. Then you can sell him if you want to sell him, or actually play him because he's that good.
I think he's that good. His value currently. I think they probably see the value with him as much as maybe a Hijacked, for instance, right? Or this
probably, if he played my whole season on loan, he could get that value.
But right now, you're gonna sell Josh, you'll be likely to get 30 million out of him, and that will be in the cheap.
Do you know the problem we've got is right when you look at these players we're talking about, and then you look at the caliber of club that is interested in them, it then makes me think, what are those clubs seeing in this guy that we're not seeing, that we're not prepared to give a consistent?
Well, you need to remember, a lot of these clubs,
defending in Germany is different from defending in.
No. I get that, right? But
yeah.
my point is though, like, surely at some point when you see the caliber of clubs that would be prepared to give some of these guys an opportunity, right? And I get it, it's different leagues and whatnot.
Yeah.
But Bayern Munich, for example, right? What do Bayern Munich see in Action Pong that Chelsea don't see, that they're not prepared to give them a
Well, the same thing that they saw in Hudson Odoi back in the day that we didn't see in him, right? Like we see these kind of things, and I feel like with Josh, he's a talented player. He could do well at many a team. He just needs an opportunity. For me, again, I think he's good on the ball. But going back to our conversation about the actual wing back system, right? I wouldn't want Josh if he was to stay playing wing back. He's good on the ball. He's not that good on the ball. Like, we need to in this position. So, like for me, if we're looking at wing backs, right, whether it's Hato or whatever, I would probably prefer Quenda. Right side, it could be the Palestra guy. That's cool. He's good going forward. But like, I don't want, and again, to AJ's point from earlier, right? I don't want us playing 5 defenders in a back 5. That's dead. Especially when we're playing lesser teams than us week in, week out, and we have the week's rest. No, we need to be attacking teams and the aim should be trying to score 3 or 4 goals every single game. That's what you got to aim to do as a big club. And you're not going to do that with 5 defenders on the pitch. So we can go back to what we're doing at wing back. It needs to be actual wing backs or guys who have attacking threat.
And you know what, as well, by the way, just sorry on centre backs, I just thought now, nobody's mentioned Mamadou Sarr or Ansel Mino, but I don't see how these guys fit in next season.
Bro, sell these guys, man.
We don't care about them. They're bots.
Ansel Mino is a very good talent, but his fitness is poor.
Bro, he played about 10 games last
so bad. That's the problem with him, right? And then Sarr will get loaned out. Sarr will get loaned out and probably sold, if anything.
Can I be brutal?
They're backup dancers. We don't even need to talk about them. They're backup dancers. They can maybe be in the squad as backup guys. Other than that, we don't really care. Like, you have so many centre backs.
Let's be brutally honest, right? At the moment, we're playing a maximum of 40 games, right? Because of the first round of the Cups, yeah? We've got no time this season to worry about youngsters. Okay, we have no time. We don't have the games to play them. Okay, we should be playing, because of the way we're weekly, we should be playing strong teams in the Cups as well, because we're only playing weekly. So we have no. If Josh is not in the plans, I don't care what they say about untouchable, but Xabi Alonso can't give him the minutes. He needs to go on loan.
Literally.
It is. Exactly. I don't care.
For me, I don't care.
And I hope that's sorted out. Yeah.
Yes, very good.
With Josh, I hope it's sorted out. Especially if you're looking to bring in senior centre backs, and what you've said there of the 40 games, don't even bother bringing Josh in pre-season. You're just wasting everyone's time. Just take him, let him go away before pre-season, so we can go to his new club, train with them over the summer, and then hopefully come back next year already if he's not going to get sold. But if you're going to go and sign another guy, Lacroix, right now, and I don't know, you go sign the guy from Como as well. You're basically telling Josh you're on the bench again.
That should be what Xabi Alonso decides to like. Xabi Alonso should be like, you know what? I'm coming in. These are the players I'm gonna need. You know, this idea, oh no, let me look at Josh in training first before I can make my final judgment. No, there are certain players you need to make a judgment on before you even see them in training. But, you know, Josh, if I'm getting Lacroix and Ramon, I don't really see a space for you. I don't care what you do unless you blow my mind. You massively impress me and you blow it out the water in training, maybe. But this idea that I gotta go, you know, everybody gotta see him in training first, gotta see him in preseason for the first 2 weeks. That's just wasting time. There's certain players where make the decision before you even go to preseason.
Yeah, the club should know that. The club should know that.
Chalobah, don't even come to preseason. That you reverse it, but
this is the problem we got though, is that like we all there are certain sections of this fan base saying they didn't want no Europe. The problem with that is we could have done with them extra games to play some of these guys. Now we're in a situation where we've got to meet these agreements and all that shit that we've made with UEFA and stuff. We've got no European football. The squad is too big as it is. We've now got to sell more players than we originally were probably going to sell in the summer if we had Europe. So we're now looking at guys that perhaps wouldn't have been for sale, who are now going to be for sale because we haven't got the space in the squad to carry them on a 1 game a week thing because the rotation is not needed. So
the thing is for me, Charlie, I get your point. For me, I kept saying, bro, we need Champions League football.
Yeah, 100%.
Get it through the back door if we're going to get a 6th, bro. Right, and I would have only taken Europa League if we won the FA Cup because obviously you're getting a trophy with it. That's the only way. When we didn't win the FA Cup, bro, I said I'd rather 1 game a week. And in the context of where we are right now, yeah, we need consistency, we need stability, and we need to be seeing the same 11 more often than not now. Bro.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to be seeing 1 week it's Lacroix and Reese and Colwell, and then the next week it's Josh, Lacroix and Colwell, and then the next week it's Hato back there. I'm done with that shit, bro. I'm done with making subs for fucking centre backs as well, bro. Tired of that shit. I didn't grow up watching JT coming off or Cahill coming off or Cavallio coming off. Like I didn't grow up watching that, bro. I'm not used to seeing centre backs coming off the pitch. That's one area of centre backs and fucking goalkeepers, even fullbacks most of the time. They don't come off. The defense never really comes off like that unless there's an injury, right? So for me, as much as I wanted Champions League, again, we didn't get it. We didn't win the FA Cup, bro. For this particular season and the fact that Chelsea haven't had that consistency of the team for a minute, bro, I think we need it this time round. And that's where I'm looking at the like. I'm like, bro, you just need to go on loan, bro. Go play football because you're not gonna get the minutes here, bro. You're not.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
But do you know what it is as well, right? It's just a slightly different point. I know it's still early days, but I'm a little bit concerned that there's no links to the dead wood. All the players that are potentially leaving are.
Before you talk about that, hold on, Charlie. That's a topic in itself. Let's finish the lineup here. Let's finish the lineup here. Yeah. I can hear someone's fine as well. I think it's you, Ads. Yeah. Let's finish the lineup. So, Andrew, I'll come to you, Andrew. Actually, what we're saying about the midfield, man, based off of people that are here and potential players that we're linked to. So, I'll remind you, very heavy links to Wharton. Very heavy links to Wharton at the moment. I would take him in a heartbeat, and he starts for me every day of the week, bruv.
Yeah, it'd be Caicedo and Wharton in the middle, and it's sort of like a reminder of when we had Matic and Kante in the back three.
Yep.
When it was more Matic sitting and Kante allowed to roam, you might just see Caicedo be allowed to roam a bit more, like he does.
He haven't replaced Matic.
Like he does for Ecuador, and have Wharton doing more of the sitting. Ironically, though, Matic got a load of assists in that season.
Matic was a baller.
Yeah, Matic had tech, bro.
Tech is serious.
Tech. I mean, that'd be it for me. And then, you know, you can whoever you want to rotate in there. I'm not really counting Lavia because he needs to prove he can stay fit. I'm not counting him. It would be Andre Santos, wouldn't it? Probably coming for either one of them or something like that. Sorry, what?
Barco in midfield?
Hell no. Hell no.
I can't count. I've not seen him, but I can't count him. I can't.
This is a good point. Who wants to answer this? Yeah. So actually, I'll come to you, Rob. You man think Parish is selling us 2 players in one summer? He's going to charge like 160 million. To be fair, that's a very good point.
He's not going to charge that. He's going to charge
Parish. So he's the guy that owns Palace.
He's going to charge. He's going to charge maybe 120 to 130 for both of them.
No way. No way. He's selling us Wharton for less than what Newcastle is going to sell Tonali, or how much West Ham is going to sell Fernandez for. You're looking
at minimum 80, 90 mil for Wharton.
He's going to be 100 million.
I mean, that's the Enzo money. That's less than the Enzo money we'll get, because I think we'll get over 100.
Why wouldn't he sell it to him if we pay the bread? Like, I don't really understand. If we pay the money, then why wouldn't he sell it?
Yeah.
No, he will sell, and then on Lacroix, maybe because probably might get him for 60 million ish. So 160 seems like the that's gonna
something be... Isn't there something in his contract?
It's not that much though for 2 starting players though. Like that's
yeah. No, I hear. Exactly.
I mean, on sales, we worked out the other day, like, predicting who's gonna leave and the prices and whatnot. Me and Joey kind of calculated it to be like 320 plus minimum. You know what I'm saying? We saw Enzo, we've got the cuckoo money already. Badie, Shirley, and all of these guys, Delap and that. You're looking at about 320 plus, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we got money, bro. We got money.
Yeah, and we need to sell some of these youngsters as well, too. That's all the SARS and the Ansel Mino. I don't think we need to keep these players anymore.
Jorgensen.
Opportunity for us to, I know we're not in Europe, so this is giving us an opportunity to refresh the squad.
Reset.
If you want to get,
and loan fees as well. Loan fees are going to be big.
Yeah. You want to get more. If you want to, someone say about like the price, like Tonali. Tonali's not being sold yet. There's no price on Wharton. Do you know what I mean? There's no midfield midfielder that we know that's been sold, that Palace go, well, that's the minimum we're going to sell.
But the problem is, though, is
we can assume it's 100. We can assume
Anderson's going to put up the value, though.
Anderson one's going to basically distort the market. Like, if Forest get over 100 mil for Anderson, then Palace will be asking for 100 for Wharton. Newcastle will be asking 100 to Nali. Yeah.
Why you did a deal before the?
I thought we should be already making big deals. We should be, really.
Andrew, everybody knows. Like, Forest is already rejected 120 million for Anderson. They already rejected a bid, so it's gonna be. And I think for me, for this season, I agree with Ad. You're gonna see a lot of loans, right? I think you're gonna see a lot of loans, because I don't think we'll sell all these players only to buy a bunch of players again next summer, when assuming we back in the Champions League. I think you're gonna see a lot of loans for the likes of Isugo, a lot of the likes of Sarr, maybe one of Gittins or Garnacho. You're gonna see a lot of those type of loans, because next season then you're gonna need to reinvest again, buy players.
That's fine.
You're gonna compete on multiple fronts.
But why you don't see us reinvest? What's the problem with us selling them, having our season, hopefully being successful, and then revamping the squad again next year? What's the problem?
Yeah. No, because I think they'll rate a lot of these players. I just think they just don't think there's gonna be enough games to share all across them. So
then you loan a lot of them out. It's very simple. Or you just sort of ones that aren't that good.
That's what I think you will see a lot of loan, and then some of them returning, kind of like Jackson.
But these owners have to take some accountability and accept that they bought in a lot of duds. Some have worked. There's been a lot of duds. So you cut your losses on some of them. Like I get it. In an ideal world, you would probably want to keep Sarr, but whatever. But we've got no Europe. Like Charlie said, we need to actually win these cups that we're in, because we're not gonna probably win the league, right? But we have to. I want to be in a title race at the bare minimum, right? But we have to win a cup, so we have to go strong. So whether it's a Sarr, Anselmino, these other youngsters that I'm probably forgetting about, just sell them or loan them. But if not, sell them. Cut your losses.
No, Anselmino's not gonna get sold, man. Like the fitness is too bad. He'll get loaned again, and same thing will happen with Sarr again. Because you need to remember, these guys are what? How old is Sarr and Anselmino? Like 21?
22, 21, yeah.
21.
Yeah. So they'll probably Sarr's stocks have dropped because he wasn't playing when he came back. And same thing has happened to Anselmino. So these guys will wait for their stocks to go back up before deciding if they're going to sell them or keep them. You know what I mean? Whether they come back.
How many loans are we actually allowed to do, though? Like, there's obviously a loan limit, right?
8 international loans.
Cool. So obviously, this is their fault for messing up Anselmino and Sarr. So again, this is why I say cut your losses. They made the mistake of bringing these guys back when they didn't have a plan for them. Cool. If you're missing out on maybe 10 million in terms of loaning him now and then selling him later, that's your fault. That's the fault of these elite recruiters for messing up. So pay the losses, bro. It is what it is.
But this summer we don't. This season we don't need a big squad. So the outgoings will be more than the incomings anyway. You know what I mean? We don't need a big squad. We're playing once a week. A maximum of 22, 23 players for the season, barring a massive injury crisis, obviously.
I mean,
the outgoings should be far greater than the incomings.
100%.
100%. You're right. You're spot on, bro. Listen, big up everyone that's here, man. We've got nearly 300 people here. Like I keep telling you, lot, go check out the sponsor, Jersey FC Soccer Shop, people. Don CFC at checkout. Go get yourself some international kits, man. I've got the 98 Brazil. I've got the. Say that again, Andrew.
I got a Cape Verde one. I just bought it.
You got a Cape Verde one, yeah?
Yeah, I got a Cape.
Hey, I might have to back you on that one.
I hear that. That's cool.
That football they're playing the other day. In fact, I'm even gonna look at what it looks like whilst I'm on the show right now, bro. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell the sponsors, bro. Yeah.
I've got the blue Cape Verde is cold. That's cold.
Yeah, man. I've got a Brazil 98 kit.
I know why you got that, Andrew.
Hey, you know what's so funny? I was live. I was live with Andrew and Goonie the other day. Yeah, was it Cape Verde that were playing?
It was.
Oh, that's why he went and got it. I'll go check them out, man.
I like the
sniper.
It's true, bro. Man saw them baddies in the stands and you had to go cop that kit, bro. Yeah, but hey, listen, big up everyone that's here, man. Go check them out. Don CFC at checkout for 20% off, people. like I said, all the man them in the ends right now. All my boys have all been buying
I
kits.
also
And they
bought an
really,
Ecuador
really
one
like them.
as well. I'm going to get an Ecuador one done as well, just for footballing reasons.
Ecuador.
Yeah.
This guy's trying to rep all them South Americans and that. And that's fucking hilarious. But hey, now Walton Caicedo, I think that's a really good pivot. Well, listen, we're going to talk about Enzo Fernandez more and Gusto, like when we finish up the squad, right? But just to sort of lean into that, for me, I think Enzo's going to leave. And what I would replace him with is Walton and Morgan Gibbs-White. Yeah? And Morgan Gibbs-White, for me, he comes straight into that 11, bro. He comes straight into that 11. I don't know if you guys agree. Would you want him at Chelsea? Would you guys start this guy straight away? Like, what were you man saying?
Wait, guys, before you answer, who would be your front three? Let me.
Yeah.
So my front three would be, I think Pedro for everyone. Yeah, Pedro's up there. You know what I'm saying? And then Palmer in the right half space. Yeah. Or Esteval. And then I'm probably putting Gibbs-White there, bro.
Or Esteval. So you're doing the or Esteval thing. All right. Because I was confused as to where you were standing on Esteval.
Esteval.
Wow.
People, right now, I'm not speaking much on Esteval right now because, bro, he's got to come back and play.
Yeah.
Right? He's been injured. So I can't put him in the 11 right now. He needs to build his fitness. But with Sam Morgan Gibbs-White, that's what I would do there, innit? Or if you want to put Palm on the left half space, he can play both sides for me, innit? You know what I'm saying? But I prefer him off the right. What you man saying about that?
Can I throw a spanner in the works though? Because like I like Gibbs-White, I don't mind him signing. I think you could sign him and still not actually, depending on how much you pay for him. I don't need him to actually be for me. Because for me, I wouldn't start João Pedro as a 9. I would start him as one of the 10s.
Now you're talking.
I would start him as one of the 10s. But we need goals, man. Hey, in this system, we need goals. We need a proper goal scorer up front. So I would start João Pedro as a 10. And then get a different number 9.
Who's starting up top?
Jackson.
No, we haven't.
Whoa.
We ain't got there yet, man.
Stop.
We ain't got there yet because I see Rob. Yeah, Rob is. I'm telling you, people. Robin's sitting here comfortably, thinking that it's all gonna be rosy and Jackson will be here when the season starts. Let me tell you something, Rob. Yeah, I could be wrong. I've got a strong feeling he still leaves. And the club that I think he'll go to, I think he'll go to Villa.
He's not untouchable, so there's a chance.
Let me finish, Rob. Yeah, I think he'll go to Villa because I think they'll sell Rodgers, and Emery loves this guy. They tried to sign him before, they weren't able to get it done, but they'll have that Rodgers money there. I think he still leaves in it. You know what I'm saying? I think he still leaves the club. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. What we say? Does anyone else agree with Charlie? Would you put him in that? Would you play Pedro in that 10 and get a striker?
I think it's good to have the options. I think it's good to have the option to do that. You know, you need to have different options. I wouldn't be against Pedro playing alongside Palmer in one of them twin 10s and you use someone else as a 9. You'd have to go and get another 9. I don't know what 9 is going to be up to the standard we need and would be attainable with
there's guys out there
situation. There'll be some guys.
We got to commit to João Pedro as our striker. We have to commit to him as our striker.
Why do we have to?
I don't know.
Yes.
I prefer him up top, though. I prefer him up top.
I would prefer him up top. But what I'm saying is, though, like it's good to have that option so that you could drop and you could play someone else. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a main striker.
Either or, yeah.
Let's just use Jackson as an example. He may or may not be here, but what would people think if Jackson stayed, for example, and you use Jackson as a 9 and Pedro as one of those 10s? Like, does anyone like
Charlie,
that?
I like you.
I hate that. I hate that because I don't like Jackson up front with Pedro. Like that doesn't work for me. Yeah. They're not similar, but like. I want a physical proper 9. Obviously, Rob was with me until we mentioned the Jackson thing. Rob lost me completely. And Rob's somewhere in Narnia right now. Listen.
If Jackson stayed, right? Where in this particular, if he stays in a hypothetical situation, if you have Pedro up front, do you think Jackson can play one of them twin 10s behind?
Jackson's one of those players where like you could play like a front 3, where it's Palmer, Pedro, Jackson, and like Jackson and Pedro rotate. Or it can be like a 3-5-2 where Palmer's just behind the 2 strikers. And obviously, if you got João Pedro or Jackson as 9s, we know they're not like box striker 9s. Like let's say Delap. By the way, Delap's rubbish. Get Delap out of my squad immediately, please.
Yeah.
Right. But with Jackson and Pedro, they rotate, right? So like I don't mind that, but I want a proper number 9 who's a box threat. Because again, just the last thing I'll say, with this system, you got wing backs you probably want to cross it. You got 2 creators, cool. But then you want a 9 who's going to actually be a box presence. That's my thing. And João Pedro's not really that.
I have a wild shout here.
I disagree.
We know, Rob. We know.
I have another one. Oh, really?
I don't like this dynamic, but chat. Listen, I'm not advocating for this. I'm just putting it there so you man can visually see it, bro. But go on.
Get Jackson off the screen, bro. What are we doing? He's not even
listen to my shout, right? This is my shout, right? Lacroix right centre back. Liverpool will center back. Liverpool will center. Hato left centre back, right? I put Palmer as a left wing back.
No.
But he's only attacking. No. Mostly attacking. Esteban is in that proper position. No. And for me, that team right there, there's goals.
That team's relegation, bro. What are we doing here?
Who are we playing?
Palmer left wing back.
Who are we playing against in that game?
I just had to do a cross because I'm hearing a lot of blasphemy. You know what I'm saying?
I'm hearing a lot of blasphemy.
Don't do that, Rob. Don't do that.
Didn't Rob say earlier, we're forcing Reece James into this team? You know, right?
No, but this is the thing though.
Palmer left wing back.
No, but this is the thing though. This is the thing though. You can
it's too hot for this. I can't lie. It's too hot for this kind of nonsense, bro. Be real.
No. Again, I said it was one shout. For me,
hey, show me the tomatoes in the chat, people. Hey, get this man the tomatoes in the chat.
But for me, it's. I hope
Jimmy heard that.
I would, everything being equal, I'll personally prefer Esteban and João Pedro behind Jackson, personally.
No, I'm sorry. Listen, you disqualified after that Palmer left wing back.
Bro, you know Jimmy would have jumped through the screen to slap you after that, bro. Like, why did you say that?
Jimmy's game would have popped.
I'm telling you, bro.
Just on this Jackson thing quickly, right? Like,
this guy just had a big injury too. He's trying to cook Palmer too, man. But go on.
Just on this Jackson thing, right? Whether you like Jackson or not, right? Who would you? It's clearly going to come down to Jackson or Delap and who stays this summer, right? Surely all of us would prefer Jackson to stay over Delap, even if Jackson's limited and we don't like Jackson.
Except Don.
Where have you been? I've been saying for weeks Delap needs to go. I want him to leave for his own career. I want him to go.
So are we all in agreement that if it comes down to it, if a choice of Jackson or Delap, we'd rather Jackson stay next season than Delap?
Yeah. Well, according to Ad, he wants a natural striker. So
I'll find another striker.
When I hear that, I'm hearing like a profile like a Haaland though. So basically, what you're saying is go get rid of Delap and go get another Delap. Is what you're saying, basically.
Yeah, just a good one, obviously.
Are you putting Delap and Haaland in the same
another striker before earlier in the?
Wait, hold on. Ask me that again, Rob.
You said you said he wanted a striker like Haaland. Basically, you just want another Delap.
In terms of the profile,
you let Rob interrupt the flow for that.
Bro, Delap is nowhere. Delap is nowhere near Haaland. But Haaland.
Wait, Don. Let's go back. If I can, let's go back to where I was going before. We got interrupted and railroaded by the Jackson nonsense, right? Let's cut to the chase. We need a 9. I'm saying we need a 9, right? If you want to get like a top 9, who's physical, right? Box presence, like a Haaland. Obviously not Haaland level.
You want Brobby? People are saying Brobby.
People are saying in the chat Brobby, and I've been saying Brobby for a few weeks now. I like Brobby, right? He's not my number 1 choice. He's actually my number 2 choice. I like Brobby, and if you have João Pedro, let's say we keep Jackson cool, and we have Brobby. Those are good 9 options, and then also João Pedro can play 9 sometimes, play in a 10 sometimes, and Brobby will be happy to start, happy to be on the bench at a club like Chelsea. Brobby makes almost too much sense for his ownership. It makes almost too much sense getting Brobby.
I just want to say this.
I just don't see Pedro being moved from his position.
Is he going to want to come to be a backup? Is he going to want to come to be a backup?
I don't see Pedro in the 10 either.
Let me just say this.
But I'm saying Brobby would be somebody that would start some games and be happy to be benched for us and probably earn triple his wages and be still in our wage structure.
Here's the thing, right?
Pedro has to be up there.
The one thing that Liam Rosini
Brobby can be a backup for us though.
Yeah, 100%.
I agree with that.
Hello.
But go on, Andrew. Let Andrew land, and then we'll move on to the next
thing. The one thing that Liam Rosini got right was playing João Pedro at the number 9. He's not good at 10. He's better at 9. He proved it.
He is.
of last season. He's a better 9, and he does have box presence in there. I'm sorry, he does. He's wasted at the 10. He's absolutely wasted. He's a better 9. And when I talked about earlier about incomings, I would keep Jackson just for this season. I would keep him.
Yeah.
We don't need to focus on the striker area this season. We don't. We can handle that with those two. We can do it with those two.
But Andrew, you don't think João Pedro's a good second striker, no? Like second striker behind him.
I think he's a better 9.
No, he's a good 9. No, I hear he's a good 9, but like second striker and 10 aren't the same thing. Like if you're playing just off another guy, that's different to playing number 10 in a 4 at the back system.
Why are we now trying to complicate things here when it comes to that? Because at the end of the day, we've already seen Pedro behind the striker, and he just does way too much for me, bro. Like he does way too much. The reason why when he started to look good at Chelsea, like even better, right, was when he was keeping it simple, running in behind, waiting for the balls to come in behind. When Maresca was using him, he was dropping a lot deeper. When Rafinha came in, Rafinha kept telling him, "Yo, just stay up," and he started to score a lot more goals. So for me, I feel like playing him in that 10, bro, you can get someone like Gibbs White, like Val, those players that can play behind him, and João Pedro is the guy to finish those chances.
I agree. But Don, I agree. Don, what you're saying is very simple, and what you're saying is more simple than what I'm saying, and I hear that. Again, it's not my choice to go to a back 3 this season. I don't want to, but if we're gonna bring a manager who's a back 3 specialist, we're already buying wing backs, then okay, we're gonna go to a back 3. That's cool. I don't mind João Pedro as a 9. I think he's a very good 9. I think he's actually slightly better as a 9 than a 10. That's fine. But I would still prefer him as a second striker with Palmer as the natural 10. João Pedro's like sort of there, and he's behind either a Robbie or maybe an even better 9 who we can get in the market. That's what I want.
Here's the thing. I'm just thinking about what's needed, right? What's needed and what we have. Right? No matter if it's a back 3 or a back 4, right? I still want Pedro in the 9, whether it's a back 4 or back 3. Just what is needed. If you're getting Jackson back and you just go, well, just for this season, we're going to build your reputation back up and sell you next summer. Do you know what I mean? Like that, and then bring in another striker if you want to do that.
Yeah. On this though,
when I'm looking at the team, what's needed and potential outgoings like an Enzo Fernandez and something like that. I just don't think we need to think about.
But sorry, Charlie. One thing, Andrew, you're talking about what's needed, right? I think what's needed is goals, bro. If we're gonna play a system like this, we need goals, and I don't know if I see enough goals in that front 3 with these wing backs and that midfield, bro. I don't see enough goals.
But then I'd rather than what? I'd rather Don's suggestion and keep João Pedro up top and bring in another creative player like whatever you think about Gibbs White or another person.
That's what we're going to do.
You know that's
what I'm thinking here. And I don't see enough goals for me. I don't see enough goals in this team.
And that's a fair point.
Gibbs White just got like 15 Premier League goals. He just got like 15 Premier League goals.
On Cole Palmer playing.
Yeah. On the striker thing, real quick, right? I know we've not mentioned him. Is anyone giving Omega a chance next season?
Oh no.
I totally forgot about him.
So that's another signing we've made where that's going to have to be a loan somewhere straight off the bat.
Back to
Yeah. And the thing is, you're saying you're not seeing enough goals, but if Cole Palmer was still firing last season, you wouldn't be saying that. And that's where Xabi needs to come in and improve these guys, bro. Palmer needs to improve.
I agree.
Needs to improve.
I agree.
Yeah. Cole needs to carry on kicking on. Hato needs to keep improving, right? There's a task here of bringing in signings, but Xabi also needs to improve the players that are here. Now, people, we're gonna quickly go through the super chats and then we'll finish up on.
Don,
hold up.
How is Palmer going to get those goals at left wing back?
I don't know what this guy's moving crazy. AJ got a lot of point on it, yeah. We'll be here all day otherwise.
I know you put Morgan Gibbs White here, but that's your opinion. I'm not fully agreeing with that. Would I take him in the squad? I would take.
Who'd you put there?
But when I'm looking at this team, I agree with Ads. We're still missing. There's a lot of X factor that's still missing, and for me, everybody doesn't want this player, but I want this player. I would put Rafael Leao in this position. Definitely putting him in that spot.
That was to be saying Palmer left wing back.
You giving me no way. You giving me goals. You giving me X factor. You're giving me creativity. That's what this team needs. You guys could laugh. Look, there's 8 players behind those 3 players. That's not enough. So that means those 3 players are our main attacking players. To me, there's not enough in that. There's just not enough. We're not getting enough dribbling. We're not getting enough
elite pressing from the front.
Bro,
Shut up about elite pressing, bro. Shut up.
I don't want to hear nothing.
You told us about elite cutbacks last season. We're not taking.
I don't want to hear nothing about pressing this kind of third. I need goals. I need assists. I need people who are getting after it.
Can I ask you a question?
Ndai, how about Ndai in that position? I like Ndai. You know how I'm saying
AJ, can I ask you a question?
That's a Leao, bro. Come on, man.
AJ,
Leao's X factor, bro.
Whoa, man.
AJ,
Leao 2026 is like trying to wear fucking just do it bag in 2026. What are we doing here,
bro? You talking about Morgan Gibbs White? I don't want to hear that shit, bro.
Gibbs White is more proven than Leao. Gibbs White is more proven than Leao.
He's more proven. He's not more proven than Leao. It's Rafael Leao.
Premier League, he's clearly more proven than Leao.
I don't care. Has Morgan Gibbs White played in Europe like that though? He's not good in the Champions League.
Bro, as a team player, I am taking Gibbs White ahead of Leao every day of the week, bro.
Yeah, you want to be a mid-table team. Let's focus on being a team player in a mid-table team.
He's one of the most overrated players I've seen.
Guys,
we already have Gibbs White.
Leao has won a league title and been the main attacker in that team, bro.
He's won a league title. Many players have won league titles. Does that mean that I should overrate them?
And he's cooked in Europe as well, bro. He's cooked in Europe, bro. Like he's cooked in the Champions League. Gibbs White has 0 Champions League appearances, bro.
Let's go get Havertz back. He's cooking the Champions
League. Listen, for me, I agree with everything that AJ's saying. Like Gibbs White's not even a bad player. He's good, but we need X factor in terms of like this front three, right? When you have a front three like this, and you have 7 players behind him, they should be able to handle enough defensive work. The front three needs to be there to win you games. That's why when we had Conte, we had Diego Costa Hazard. That was enough to win you games. Whether the third guy was Pedro, Willian, Schürrle, whoever, we had enough to win games. If this is the front three, it's good. It's just not enough for me.
I'm struggling to understand, how Leao is X factor, bro. How is he X factor?
Bro, that don't even look, bro. Just look at that team like that. That front three is just dry,
but it's not great. Look at the wing backs. Don. These wing backs. How many goals are wing backs gonna get us in this team? How many? Not enough. Not compared to Moses and Alonso, bro. And they had Hazard and Costa ahead of them.
And that's a fair point. Like we look at this. Let's say this was the team, right? There's a lot of ifs there, but you look at that, like the wing back profile specifically, right? You need a lot of goals or assists from wing backs. Looking at honestly, Hato over a 38-game season, he probably won't play every game. I'd be shocked if he got 10 GA in the league. You need it. You need 7 to 10 GA minimum from both.
Bro, I need some ballers up front, bro. I'm tired of that shit. He's not pressing. I'm tired of that, bro. He was just talking about Hazard and these men. That's what.
Bro, I can't believe. Man are saying X factor. Yeah, let me even read this out, people. So I'm just comparing him to Gibbs White because these men are saying put him in that position.
Are you gonna do a numbers thing now? Is it gonna be a stats thing? Yeah.
Of course I am.
Cool.
If you're gonna tell me X factor, you better be putting up some numbers where I can look at you as an X factor player.
He's put up numbers. He's
put up
more numbers than Gibbs White.
I can do that.
He's put up more numbers than Gibbs White.
Let me finish.
Yeah, but you finish that point. You finish that point of saying numbers.
You hold on. I'm responding to what you man said. You man said he is the X factor that we need, right? But when I'm looking at these metrics right here, and when I watch the guy, I'm sorry, I don't see the X factor that you man are talking about. Yeah. So,
but you see
last season, the season that just went, right?
Bro.
Leao played. Hold on, bro. AJ, bro. We're talking at once. Let me just land, bro, and then you can come back. Yeah?
Land, bro. Land.
The season that just went. To be fair to Leao, he played less minutes than Gibbs White.
Exactly.
He played nearly 2K minutes. He got 9 goals, 3 assists, right? Gibbs White got 15 goals, 4 assists, yeah? 24-25. Let me go to Gibbs White as well. 24-25. Leao scored 8 goals. Gibbs White scored 7. Leao got 8 assists. Gibbs White got 8 assists. And that season, the minutes are close. They're quite close there, right? So again, when you're talking
are you going to go to the year before that? Are you not going to go to the year before that when Leao got... I'm looking at here. Leao, in all comps the year before that, got 29 GA combined.
Now you're lying.
29.
Talk about
I'm not lying. I'm not lying.
The year before that, I'm talking about in the league, bro.
I know.
That's
all you can talk about.
Man, them. You can respond. Let me just finish what I'm saying, and you can respond, bro. Yeah, let me read the super chat for people. Right? 23-24 and 23-24 of Gibbs White. Leao got 9 goals, Gibbs White got 5. Leao got 9 assists, Gibbs White got 10. Yeah. You man have watched Hazard at this team. That's an X Factor player. How dare you talk about Leao and say X Factor player for Leao? Are you man mad?
He's got X Factor. Of course, he's got X Factor. If you watch what he does on the pitch with his dribbling and being 6'2" and can win headers and that, bro. Of course, he's got X Factor. And again, in that season you mentioned, it's 29 GA. All comps, including the Champions League, which Gibbs White has never played in his whole life. So we're talking about X Factor. Please understand what we're talking about.
Leao has never played in the Premier League in his whole life. I can say the same thing.
So what?
Listen,
Mbappe has never played in the Premier League in his whole life. Oh, Vinny. So what?
I'm sorry, I've got to cook you here. I don't know how you can watch a player like Hazard, yeah, and then say Leao's got X Factor. Come on, what are we doing, bro?
Yeah, I can say that, but that doesn't mean they're the same. They both have X Factor, though.
It's overrated by people like you, man.
Let me respond. Dan, don't do that. Don't confuse up the thing. There's different levels of X Factor. We all know that. We're not saying that.
Nah, not for me, man.
Because you always do this. We're not saying that Leao is Hazard. That stop lying to the people. That's not what we're saying. But what we're saying is this team that we're looking at right here doesn't have enough magic in it. That's just the truth. It doesn't have
Leao the magician.
Leao will give us more creativity than Gibbs White, especially bro. This is what we need, bro. I'm not again. I'm not saying
I forgot. AJ trains with this guy. Manian, you're Manian, bro. You know, look at yeah. That's your twin. I forget that. That's why you're popping so much.
How do you compute? Like,
you're popping so much, bro. Yeah, let me read the super chat, bro. Let me read the super chat real quick, man. You know what I'm saying? We've got Manian on the panel, people. Now it's making sense. I've been saying to AJ for time, Manian is your fucking twin, yeah. And now
I said Leao doesn't even start over nothing. Yo, I'm not listening to the chat.
Okay, who said that? Right, Neto starts for his country over him, innit? C to the A says, I've watched Leao play the entire season in Milan, and he's completely dropped off. His manager and teammates call him lazy openly, and his head is in making music and playing football. And guys,
he's done with that team, bro. He's done with that team. He's
literally. And can I just quickly get the Portugal point? Wait. Can I just make one quick point? One quick point, right? People are gonna say, "Oh, he doesn't start for his country. Neto starts for him." So what? So do we all think Noni Madueke is better than Palmer? Because one person starting for his country, the other guy's on the sofa with the rest of us. So who cares about who starts for their country, bro? That don't mean anything.
That's a good point. But I was gonna, if you're talking about X Factor, Leao, Gibbs White. I mean, I would rather just play Esteval there. You're talking about X Factor. We got a player that's an X Factor in house already. He got goals.
Yeah, but he had a great fourth term, bro.
Esteval is the player still more X Factor. Esteval is the player still X Factor.
But we need more, though. We need more.
Yeah, we need more. But for you to say, I didn't even say you compared him to Hazard. That's not what I said. But when I'm looking at an X Factor player, I'm looking at players like Hazard. I'm looking at players like Cherky. I'm looking at players like Esteval.
And Leao can be compared to Esteval.
Are we on? Dan, what level are we on right now? We're not on a level where we.
It doesn't mean you should drop. It doesn't mean that you should drop your standards of what you think
it's
is.
It's a scale, brother. I'm not dropping my standards. I'm not. Nobody.
Surely there's another word you can use. Surely there's another word you can use other than X Factor, bro.
I don't know.
You don't need to change that word. That's a great word for Leao.
Great word.
Great word for Leao. X Factor. Come on, man.
Yeah.
AJ, how confident are you that if Leao joins and plays in that position, he will outperform Esteval next season?
I'm not. I didn't compare this guy to Esteval. I want Esteval and Leao in the same team. The comparison is Morgan Gibbs White. Let's stay on topic.
Thank you.
We're talking about Leao and Morgan Gibbs White.
Huh? For me, it's Morgan Gibbs White, no. Leao, no. Esteval, yes. In that position.
No, I'm cool with Esteval being there. I am the one who said, what about Esteval? And Don said it's Palmer or Esteval. I'm cool with that. Don't forget that. The point I'm making is I think we need more that in those areas. That's
AJ, what I'm saying to you, bro, is for me, I get what you're saying, bro, but a big goal scorer, a big GA magnet in this team has been Cole Palmer. For me, I don't feel like you'd be saying a lot of this right now if Palmer was on the form that he was on the first year and even the second year where he put up numbers, bro. The reason why it looks so drenched, bro, is because Palmer, bro, this guy left with 1 assist. But he left with 1 assist last season, you know, and he scored 10 goals. but he scored a hat trick. He scored from penalties, obviously, cool, and obviously he scored a hat trick against Wolves as well. But when you break it down, he didn't put up the numbers that we expect from him, bro. So
but
that's why I'm saying
all of this
is based off of that. For me, I feel like your perception is based off of how poor.
No, it's not, because I'm saying all of this hoping as well that Palmer is Palmer. Because let's not get it twisted. Palmer's been there for what, 3 years maybe? He's been good for a year and a half, and he's been bad for a year and a half. So Palmer is at a place where I'm not in the position to be like, oh, I'm banking on Palmer, because I'm not.
Yeah,
I hear it. But that's why I'm still looking at the likes of Esteval. I'm still looking at the likes of Quenda.
We already have Esteval. We need to fill this role. This is
why. And Esteval's injured, by the way, guys. He's injured. That's why we need more.
I get that. I get the injury too. That's why I'm saying bring Gibbs White, bring in Dye, these sort of players. Leao, I'm anti-Leao, right? But what I'm saying with Esteval, I promise you, Esteval gets a run in the team, it will feel like a new signing, because we didn't see this guy get a run of games last season, bro. It was very much stop, start. You know what I mean? Quenda's a new signing. I really like Quenda, but I'm not gonna be looking at him and saying, oh, you're gonna be one of our main players. He shouldn't be. That's why I'm saying this summer we need starters so these men can come in and help, right? Esteval with a run in the team will feel like a new signing because we've barely seen him.
So Ndai, I don't know how to say his name, but Ndai is less of a risk than Rafael Leao to you guys.
I'd rather Ndai over Leao.
It's the same shit, though.
No, it's not. They're not the same type player.
Yes, bro.
But not even the same type player, bro.
It's this. Okay. All right.
Ndai is similar to like a Gibbs White, but he's
this, bro. Their end goal is the same thing. They might do it a different way, but they're both players who want the ball to their feet and to dribble, to beat their player and either take a shot on goal or find somebody in a better position. That's their job. They're both doing the same thing.
It goes deeper than that. For me, I look at Leao's mentality and listen, let's move on now as well. Yeah.
All right, move on. But we've been praising Xabi Alonso. That's the point.
This was just a good exercise because I wanted to get everyone's takes. Everyone's gonna have a different team. Everyone's gonna have different players. We'll be here all day otherwise, right? But let's move on to the next point because Andrew, I think you're muted. I think you're muted, bro. Yeah, maybe you're on the phone. I don't know. Let me quickly read through some of the super chats. We'll move on to the next part. Yeah, we'll move on to the next part.
I just want to say very quickly, there is an alternative. Because I'm like you, Don. I don't rate Leao. I just think he's Anthony Gordon on steroids, and it's not good steroids. I don't rate him. I would actually. There's a cheaper. I'd actually go for Rashford. I'd go for Rashford.
Rashford in that 10 though, man. He's not.
I'm not
saying, man. The central positions, nah.
I'm not saying in the 10 specifically. If we don't stick to three at the back, he's a good alternative wide. That's all. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not fully against it.
I didn't say X factor, by the way, just in case anyone draws me on that. I think,
man. Listen,
it's a good option, but because I think it's easier to negotiate for him than Ndiaye. You know what I mean? Like
I think it'll be easier for Ndiaye, man. I think United don't want it. United don't want Rashford to go anywhere in the Prem. Really, they want him out of the Prem. You know what I'm saying, bro?
But money's money, isn't it? You know what I mean? Money's money at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Let's quickly go through the super chats and then we'll talk about some of these mentality guys, right? Because Leao, it's not even so much about the ability, AJ. Because I do see the ability. I just don't think he's got X factor, and I don't think mentally he's there. I don't think it's what we need right now when we're trying to get rid of certain man who ain't got that mentality, bro. Right? But we'll talk about that next anyway. We got MNG. He says bring back Nico Jackson and deport Delap. And he says 75 million for Gusto are the sporting directors on crack. No one's gonna pay that, and I don't see Arsenal interested who we always fleece. Max 45 million. We'll talk about that more. Big yourself up again, man. C to the A says, will Xabi's objective to be in a title race as Maresca's was top 4? Since Xabi is 10 times the manager, that would only make sense. No, bro, we need to be in the race next season. We need to give this guy the players that will be good enough to be in that race, because I'm sorry, just because we've got a new manager, it doesn't mean that the project starts again. We need to be winning more games than not, Andrew. I know you're shaking your head on that, yeah, but bro, I'm sorry. Like we should be going into the second year competing again, like this season.
I think there's a massive overhaul needed in this squad. A massive overhaul, right? I expect Champions League place, no doubt. Right? I expected it with this squad if we hadn't hired Rosinha, right? I expected it with this squad. I'm not doing the title race thing because I don't know how we're going to play and who we've signed yet. Maybe after the transfer window, I might change my mind.
Of course.
I might change my mind. But
what he's saying is the objective. Regardless of, it's not a prediction. It's the objective, bro. Listen to what he's saying.
Here's my objective: comfortably in the Champions League places without having to look over my shoulder. Yeah, like literally, and having only to look up, never to look back.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. I get that.
I want to be in there, literally in the middle of March, going, I don't need to worry about them. I don't need to worry about Villa and Newcastle and them, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got my eyes fixed on them messing up ahead of me. Do you know what I mean? That's what I want to do.
Yeah. HM says asking for title race after finishing 10th is lunacy. It's not, bro. We finished 10th last season because everything went wrong. Palmer was poor. Caicedo was poor. We had injuries to key players again in key moments. We had 3 managers, bro. Yeah, we had players wanting to leave. Like, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. So we bring more stability into the team. We're winning more games, 1 game a week. I'm sorry, bro. I'm not like Andrew is saying, we should not be in a period where we're looking at top 4. We're going to get top 4 in that. No, yeah, we need to be secure in there. And one of the ways that you're secure in getting top 4 is by competing, because you'll be better than everyone else, right? So Andrew, technically, by you saying that, bro, you're technically saying we should be in and around that race, because at the end of the day,
well, I said you
get dragged into the top 4 race when you're not competing, bro.
Well, I said even after last year's transfer window, we should be in the top Champions League race, right? And I still, like I said to you a couple of minutes ago, we should still be in the Champions League race if we hadn't assigned Rafinha to manage us, right? I honestly believe that, even as rubbish as I see some of these players are, because the rest of the teams weren't doing well. If you put Alonso in and you back him, right? You back him properly, yeah, and he's able to establish a style of play, a winning style of play, then the top 4, like I said, you top 4, top 4, top 5, I want to be very comfortable in that. I will go back to you and go, do you know what, Don? We should be looking ahead of ourselves. We shouldn't be waiting, going into the last game of the season, trying to figure out if we're going to finish in the Champions League places. I don't
exactly, bro, and that's only going to happen. That's only going to happen by keeping up with the teams that are first and second, right? That's the only way. If you want to, when you get yourself in that race, it means that you're not competing.
Deal's done before the first game of the season. None of this waiting. I don't want to. The only way I want Chelsea involved in the last few weeks of the transfer window is when we're selling players. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When we're selling players. You
know. Yep. But let me quickly just finish up these super chats. I think Charlie's gone now, but big yourself up, Chris. Says, I don't agree with Charlie. Moses played right wing back when no single person saw it coming. It is up to Alonso to structure the team and use the players that he has. And to be fair, there's been a report from Kieran Gill. Let me just quickly share this, because again, we spoke about this earlier in the show. And I've spoken about this about Xabi too, man. When it comes to Madrid, he didn't just stick to that 3 at the back.
No,
he changed it. You know what I'm saying? So it says here, Xabi Alonso is not expected to exclusively rely on 3-4-2-1 that brought success at Leverkusen. Palestra can also be used as a fullback as well as a wing back on either side. However, Alonso urged his club to bring in the versatile Italy international for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So that's music to my ears. I don't want to be seeing that back 3 every single game, because again, we're going to be shoehorning certain man. Rob's talking about left wing back for Palmer. That's what that back 3 does.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, let me quickly go through this. And Tenzino says, man said Leao on goals. He hasn't scored double-digit numbers in a dead Serie A in years. Since his breakout season, Leao has been shit, bro. He's one of the most overrated players I've come across.
I know some people might say this is simplistic, but a few years ago, he was linked to this club, that club, that club, that club, right? And I think he stayed at Milan so long that his value, because they haven't done well, his value and rating's gone down with what other clubs think.
No, it's not about the club.
Talk to them, Andrew.
No, this doesn't mean no. What I'm saying is,
I mean, his stocks have kind of just stayed the same.
He's not.
That's what I'm saying. He needs a new place.
Not here.
Everybody says, "Oh, give him a new place. You give him a new environment. It's gonna all of a sudden change. He's gonna shine.
You'd want to play him at left wing back.
Why is the fixtures?
If you support getting Garnacho, you can't tell me that I can't get Leao. That's my thing. Like you, some of the people in the chat, bro, you guys don't understand where we are as a football club right now. We cannot. So you saying Ndiaye, if a Champions League team comes for Ndiaye, he's not coming to Chelsea. So there's many things that are not taking into consideration. Everybody's just fucking typing. But Leao, there's only a certain market that we can look in, and Leao is one of them because he's somebody who's not high valued right now in the general.
There's a reason for that, though.
There's a reason for that. I agree with that, but I am saying that I'm open to taking a punt on that type of player over Garnacho. I think he's rumored to be around the same amount that we paid for Garnacho. This is the type of punt that you want to take on a player who is proven in the Serie A. He's proven on the international stage. Better, more than Garnacho. So if you're willing to spend 40 million, 45 million on Garnacho, I'm willing to do the same thing.
You are trying to get us to do, again, you think Garnacho is a mistake, fair enough. But you're trying to get the club to do the same mistake that we did for Garnacho.
Because he's a better footballer.
Take a punt of somebody who at the current club is not as ready as high. Be like, bring him into the Chelsea environment as if our environment is that much better than the club is on. We have our own dysfunction over here.
Right? That's the irony of you saying.
What about Xabi? Everybody's talking about Xabi. You see what I'm talking about? You guys be picking and choosing. This is again another example of the picking and choosing, because one argument is, Xabi Alonso, he's changing everything. The player, everybody's listening to him. The environment's going to be different. Now, when the argument fits your what you want to outcome it, our club is not this. You gotta choose which one. Is Xabi Alonso gonna be a difference maker in the dressing room, or is he not?
I hear you. I hear your point, AJ. But what I'm saying is, we've seen already that we've gone that route of let's take a punt on this player. Maybe the environment in this current club is not ideal. Maybe you bring him into Chelsea, it's gonna be different, right? That's the type of thing that we said here, be like, maybe we just want a certain thing, like a Lacroix. It's just certain. He's performing and what we need a Palestra, right? Is probably as close to certain as you can possibly get, right? Let's take a punt on this player because his stock is at its lowest, right? Let's take a punt on Delap because it's only 30 million. Let's take a punt on Garnacho because let's take a punt on
Delap last. You see, it's different. It's not the same for everybody. We watched Delap last year, and he cooked us. He personally cooked us. So I don't want to hear that. We just throwing these arguments out, but those are not facts. Listen. Getting Leao. First of all, it's just a suggestion. The point is, those players that were on that field that we were showing, to me, doesn't inspire me enough. I like João Pedro. I like Cole Palmer. I think we need somebody else to match them. I don't think Morgan Gibbs White is that. I don't think so.
He's the definition of underrated, bro. Morgan Gibbs White is the definition.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
But let's quickly go through the rest of these super chats. Yeah, you might make some good points. Flawless Snow Bunny, again, big yourself up. It says, yo, people, smash the likes button for my King Flawless, and my King Flawless is the father of Lana Rose child. If you know, you know.
Good Lord.
I look how Andrew.
God.
Andrew, you're killing me, bro. Andrew said,
I know, because I didn't know.
You heard Lana Rose, yeah? If you don't know who Lana Rose is, go on Google right now and type in Lana Rose. Make sure you're not around kids.
Yeah, I had to double take because I didn't know. I thought you said something wrong. I thought you said the wrong. I was like, what?
And that's hilarious, bro. HM, big yourself up, man. Man says, HM, I don't know why I always thought you was in the UK, you know. What is this? NOK, what's that? Is that some, is that where are you, bro? Romania or something?
No, that's not
Norway.
No,
you're Norwegian.
I was about to say North Korea, but it definitely isn't.
It's definitely not that, blood. You know what I mean? HM, let us know where you are, bro. This guy must be living in an igloo. You know, you live in an igloo, bro. That's what I'm saying right now. NOK. It says, address Blue Coal, Post, Enzo, Cuckoo, Gusto, Sales, in and out. And we're gonna get onto that now, people. We're gonna get onto that now. Now, I ain't got too long, man. I can't lie. I've probably got like another 20 minutes or so. But we'll definitely speak about Gusto and Enzo now, yeah, because it looks like it's heating up more with Enzo, and there's been more things coming out with Gusto. Let's get into that. Rob. Let's get into that, man. How are you feeling? How are you feeling, first of all, Rob, about this? Yeah, let me even put this little tweet up right now, because Fabrizio shared this a few hours ago. I think I saw a few whispers yesterday about Gusto potentially, the club are looking to getting rid of him. But it says here, Chelsea value Gusto at 75 million, and they're not actively working to sell the French right back despite signing Palestra. Man City's interest is there, but there's no bids or club-to-club talks so far. Rob, what are you saying about this, bro? Do you think Gusto will still be a Chelsea player come the start of the season? Or are you preparing yourself for him to cut?
I do think it's a Chelsea player come next season. I don't, and like people are saying, oh, we're just putting this value there because we want to aim high and hopefully get a 45 or 50 million. I genuinely think he's rated highly at the club. I genuinely think that's how high they rate Gusto, because he's versatile. And again, I know this fan base as underrated him because Moresca asked him to play in an inverted 10, in a position where an elite 10 in Parma couldn't even thrive in, right? So I wasn't expecting Gusto to be good in that inverted 10 was always gonna be fallacy. Let him play. He's overlapping fullback like he did under Poch, and he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be excellent. I think the club rate him, and I think the Man Cities, and I think you've seen other reports that there's multiple other clubs that are after Gusto. I think I personally think it's again. He wants a higher salary, right? Enzo Fernandez wants higher salary, and then the two players that, I mean. Maybe I'm just wishful thinking that it's mostly contract talks. This one is putting out there that I'm exploring, just saying, yeah, well, but we're gonna put a crazy amount of fee on your head so that nobody can afford you. I mean, yeah.
I'll be with you, Rob. I'll be so with you, bro.
Huh?
Go on. Go. Make your last point.
I personally think come game week 1, Enzo and Gusto will split the Chelsea players.
Well, I disagree with you, bro, because what we're seeing right now, AJ, Nizza put this out as well, that Gusto himself is exploring options to leave the bridge this summer with a 75 million price tag currently placed on him, right? And that's why I was even saying this is a segue now into the mentality, because when I'm looking at certain man that the club potentially could be looking to get rid of, like Fofana, I'm saying, like Badia Shield, the Sarsi is gone, whatever, Gusto, yeah. I look at Gusto, and I never thought would be here 2 years down the line after what I watched in Poch's season.
Facts.
That season, bro, there wasn't he was up there. He was arguably probably the best right back in the league that season.
He saved us.
He saved us. Like,
we had no clue what we was gonna do, and this guy just came out of nowhere and performed.
Bro, we were literally having debates on this channel. Should Reece come back into the lineup when he comes back? Like,
yeah, I know.
That's how good he was playing. And then last season with Maresca, 2 seasons ago now with Maresca, he didn't get used to that role. And then last season, everyone was on a jolt team. I'm not going to just single him out because he didn't perform well. Neither did Caicedo. Neither did Palmer. Neither did Fofana, right? But the theme with a lot of these guys is the mentality of a lot of these guys. AJ, when I look at that game against Leeds, when we could have just finished these guys, instead of just playing the ball to Palmer, man looked away before he played it, yeah, and it just gave the ball back. And that's what I mean about the mentality of some of these guys. That's why I don't want Leao at this club, because I'm looking at his mentality and I'm like, bro, you just don't really feel like you're driven to really kick on. It just feels like you've made enough money now. You've made it. You've played Champions League football. You're happy with what you've got, and you just want to kind of go through the motions, right? What's your take on Gusto, bro? Do you think he's a player that we should now move on with Palestra getting signed, or would you still keep him for another season?
You see, I rated Gusto highly after that part season. During that part season and after, I'm like, this guy, I remember saying, oh, we have Reece James and Gusto, 2 of the top left backs, in the
right backs
in the world, right? Quote unquote. But the last 2 seasons, and definitely this last season, you see, like you said, mentality, you're supposed to get better as you age, right? Mentally. But when you look at the environment of Chelsea over the last year and a half, only certain players can thrive in that environment because they are mentally strong. You see Cucurella, you see Enzo Fernandez, you see Caicedo. those are players that can thrive even through BS, right? Gusto is a player who maybe he follows the crowd, you know, maybe he's somebody who's a crowd follower, maybe he's just, you know, he can't, you know when to turn it on and turn it off. He doesn't have it up top. So yeah, I'm sad, like you said, to see that he's now linked, and he's linked to Man City. You know, this is a team that is higher than us in the table right now, you know, and
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that, by the way? Because me and you, we feel the same about Maresca. We feel the same about Maresca, and we've proven right. But go on. How do you feel about Gusto going there?
First of all, I don't want us to sell anybody to a Premier League team. But when I look at Gusto, I don't think he's not that much of a difference maker as to where, you know, he'll take them to the next level, but he will strengthen their squad. And that's something that, you know, I'm looking at this season saying I want to be in the title race, but if we give in Man City Gusto strengthening their defense, that makes it just that much harder for us to be in the title race. So for me, I don't want to sell it to City. And Maresca's there. He snaked us. He left us, you know, hanging in the dust. Now the whole fan base sees that Maresca snaked us. They literally paid us because he snaked us. So I don't want to hear no arguments about this, that, and the third. I see a lot of YouTubers apologizing or fake apologizing about, you know, their takes on Maresca, but Maresca.
Oh, look, Lewis is still doubling down, and Lewis people, I've been telling Lewis, yo, let's do something. I know he's a busy guy, but we haven't been able to sort something out. But I'm onto him. Don't worry, people. I'm onto that guy. Well, carry on.
So I mean, just to wrap it up, you know, again, Gusto, I saw a lot of potential in him. We won the Club World Cup. In the Club World Cup game, he played excellent. I went to that game, the final. He played great. So it's like, to see that we're here, you know, less than a year later is messed up. That just shows you how our season kind of fell off. But, you know, obviously we're going in a different route. Probably Xabi Alonso looked at what Gusto is good at, what he's not good at, and decided, yo, I don't really need this guy. That's probably what happened. So
I just feel like, you know, it's for me, AJ, you're speaking facts, bro. Again, I'm just, you know, it is Andrew, yeah. I feel mad disappointed in him. Like, and the thing is, it's not always fault. Like the club the environment's been a joke, because Gusto could have gone to Man City and, you know, won the treble already now and won trophies already. He could have gone to Arsenal, been a much better environment. I feel like a lot of players, they've been done by this environment. A lot of them have, because Gusto we shouldn't be talking about man like this. That season when he was with Poch, bro, every single rival I speak to, especially Ty, big up Ty, yeah, Man United fan. He's like, bro, you see that Gusto guy? I've been onto him from Leon days, yeah? He's good. All my friends that are West Ham fans were telling me when we played Leon in I think it was Europa League at the time, he stood out to me the most, right? The guy that they've got called Gusto. When you lot signed him, it's like, yo, this is a good signing. We wanted him at West Ham too, right? So I'm actually quite upset with how it's ended with Gusto, yeah, because I didn't see this happening. But on the other side of that, yeah, with him, I just feel like he's one of them guys, yeah, like, you know, these little French guys, these little French companion that they've got. I feel like they're them guys in school, in the back of the room, they're just yapping. They're throwing paper planes, and they're messing about. I feel like he's not serious. Like him and Fofana, they're just giving me not serious vibes. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it's time to these French youths, bro. I know we're looking at Lacroix, yeah, but Lacroix seems more militant, innit? You know, Saliba's a militant too, yeah. They're serious guys. But with Gusto, bro, like, what's your take on him? What's your take on the fee as well? Because I'm seeing some people saying 75 million is a joke. Right? What's your take on that too, bro?
Well, first of all, it's a seller's market, so you know, that's what it is. You know, a fee's a fee, right? I think they'd accept 60 for Gusto. I really would.
Yeah, same.
It's basically double. I'd be surprised if Gusto wants to go to Man City, because he's never really played well under Maresca. So I don't know why he'd want to go there. You know what I mean?
Very good point.
It's been 2 years now of inconsistent. Sorry, not even inconsistent. Mostly rubbish, poor performances from Gusto over the past 2 years. You could probably pick maybe 10 performances, maybe less, that really stand out. And I'll give you one already. And AJ said it's the Club World Cup, like, final performance. Because in that tournament before that final, he wasn't that good. You know what I mean? It's not as if he stood out. It was just that game he stood out in, which was fine because it's the final. But listen, Gusto, I've always said it to you, Don. Gusto is a guy, in footballing terms, footballing mind terms, is a simpleton, right? And this isn't to insult him, but you can't overstimulate and ask him to do too much and ask him to do what he can't do. And that's what Maresca did. Maresca overcomplicated and gave him too much instructions and asked him to do stuff like be an inverted fullback or a 10. He's not. He's strictly a right back. That's all he is. He
killed him, bro.
Under Poch, he was strictly a right back. He tackled and he gave the ball to people and left it like that. That's what.
He got like 8 assists that season, Andrew. Right. You know, he got like 8 assists, 8 assists.
But it was very simple. He's no inverting. He stuck to the right side of the pitch, overlapped when he needed to, and done it like that. Maresca, one of his faults was trying to make players into things that they're not. He's not that type of player. He's not an inverted full. He's not like a Cucurella. Cucurella, you could do an inverted fullback thing. You know what I mean? Because he could do the box crashing, he could do the passing, he could do the defensive midfield work. Gusto can't do that. I know, but if he goes to Man City and he just asks him to be a right back, I think he'd do very well. I think he'd do very well at just being a right back. Anything else, I'm sorry, it's a detriment and unfair to Gusto. And I'm with you, Don. Very disappointed the way it's turned out. There were 2 years later, we're talking about him right now, selling him. To me, the 75 million is one of two things, right? It's, like I said before, it's a seller's market, so we can put whatever price we want on a player, right? It's up to you to meet that price. And the second one is me going, I don't think they actually do want to sell him. Do you know what I mean? I don't actually think they do want to sell him, like for this season. I don't think they do. I think maybe Alonso's going, I don't want too many leaving because it might upset the build that's already there in the squad.
The chemistry,
right? The key players. You know what I mean? Like that. I want to build a new, maybe in a year's time, maybe he goes. But do you know what I mean? I need familiarity. I need people who know each other. I know there's going to be cliques in here, but I need to establish new cliques. I need to establish new partnerships. You know what I mean? I can't get rid of too many people, or else it's like basically building up again.
Starting again completely,
again. And I don't need that. I'm going to be under pressure as it is, even though we're only playing once a week. I'm going to keep him. I'm going to be surprised. I'm with Rob. I don't see him leaving. Not for that.
Gusto.
Not for that price.
No, I don't see him.
No, bro. That price. The thing is, people need to understand. Yeah, the price is 75 million because realistically, let's be real. We know we're not going to get that. The club ain't going to get that. But they will never put a price starting at what they want. It doesn't happen. You're going to put it up so you can meet in the middle. So they can probably get between 55. Hold on, Rob. Between 55 to 65 million. And what sticks out to me, Rob, because I even said to you before, I've got a strong feeling that Cuckoo leaves. I told you this weeks ago, and you were like, "Nah, I think he stays." I said, "Bro, I've got a feeling this guy leaves, innit?" I've got the exact same feeling with Gusto, bro. I feel like he's another one that right now he might not be pushing to leave. He might not be as public as Enzo Fernandez, but the fact is, bro, he is looking at his options. He is seeing us bringing a guy who basically plays mainly in his position as well on the right hand side of the defense, right? He knows that Chelsea are looking to get rid of players right now, bro. You know what I mean? And he knows the past 2 seasons he's not been great. So personally, bro, and on top of that, a lot of Chelsea fans get onto him, bro. He probably gets messages all the time. I don't condone abuse. He probably gets abuse all the time. So he's like, yo, you know what? Yeah, let me get out of it. Everyone's getting out. Let me just get out of it and go to Man City. I might not have, been the best with Maresca, but I'm in an environment where I'm actually going to win. So even if I might not be great myself, I'll be winning. You know what I'm saying? And that goes a long way because you make more money, have more of a legacy.
The thing is, with Cuckoo, I'll give you that. I didn't see Real Madrid coming in for him. So that's why I was like, as Atletico Madrid, we're not going to sell him because he was also linked to Man City. I was like, no, I don't see us selling to Man City.
I never saw him going to the Prem. But I saw him
exactly. So I don't see us selling to the Prem, and I don't see, Barcelona is broke. I don't see Atletico Madrid paying the 55 million that we want, right? And then Real Madrid came, and if Real Madrid was in the picture, my opinion would have been different. If you tell me PSG is in the picture for Gusto, yeah, that's a totally different conversation. Because if PSG come for him, he's a French guy, right? He's most likely gonna leave. But my thing is, I think as a fan base, we have, I don't think we a fan base that treat our players right?
We don't. Of course, we're not.
Demean our players. We abuse them. We cuss them out. We boo them. All of the above. We are probably the least loving fan base that a player can walk into. Right? Casado says as much. I prefer playing away from home than playing at the bridge. Right?
And that's why I said Delap needs to leave. That's why I said Delap needs to leave for his own career.
For somebody like a Malo Gusto, I think he suffered. Again, people might say I have an agenda. I just think we are blaming Gusto for Reece not being available. Because if Reece was available as much, and was fit, we wouldn't be seeing Gusto much. The problem with Gusto is we saw him too much.
Right? I agree.
We saw him in games. Gusto is a player like Andrew said. Simple instructions. If you want him to be your starting right back, let him be overlapping, and that's it. And if you want him to be to do anything complicated, he's a profile. Like a game against PSG, he suits that game, right? Because of his
simple game plan. Yeah.
A game against Liverpool, he suits that game because he makes those run, even if it's inverting, but it's simplified. It's not asking him to be inverted 10 and all this stuff, right?
Yep.
But we have treated Gusto as we expect you to give us Reece James level performances because you're starting as many games for us. Where that when we bought him, nobody expected Gusto to play to see Gusto as much as we've seen him. But because Reece hasn't been available, Gusto has been asked to play in a system where the manager wants him to do multiple things because he's agile, he's quick, and he can make runs and all this. So Moraes can think, this profile, I can use it to invert, I can use it to overlap. He has the intensity to track back, recovery pace, and all that I want on the right hand side of the pitch. And I think if Reece was fit, I don't think Gusto will be here. And again, it's on Moraes also for asking him to do too much. Like he's a backup. If you want him to start for you, let him overlap. And if you want him to do the inverting things, he that only suits a certain profile of games. He can't.
This is a very good comment. This is a very good comment. Big yourself up, Jack. He said. So if he's played more and hasn't developed like we expected, then what do you do? It's like how many more lives do you give him, bro?
I don't think
it's not all on him. It's not all on him. I agree with that. But how many more lives do you give him, bro?
No, I don't. Saying he hasn't developed is the same thing as saying Cole Palmer hasn't developed. Do you think Cole Palmer is a better player than he was when we first bought him? I think he is, right? Yeah. But people will say no, he's not because the last 18 months he hasn't performed, right? I think Gusto is developed. I just think that in the way that Moraes wanted to play him in the system, it's just that many things were working. He couldn't even get the best of Cole Palmer in the 10. He couldn't, right? In the 10, Cole Palmer couldn't do it. What did you
expect? That was more on Palmer than Maresca, man. I'll be honest, man. That season, Palmer was taking a piss in front of goal. His finishing was poor. His creativity was actually at a higher rate than the season before. But again, your boy Jackson just didn't want to fucking bury these chances, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, end of the day, like, there's certain things here where I'm looking at with Maresca, like, yo, you killed Gusto that season. You absolutely killed his guy.
If you remember one thing also, when Hato the first Chelsea game for Hato, he inverted him.
Yeah.
Hato's not an inverting fullback.
He misused him. He misprofiled him. You're right.
So it's not that the player hasn't developed. It's that the player continuously being misused. Like you invert Hato, and then Vega came. First game Vega, he plays him at DM. Right?
That's a point of when a coach, no matter what the player is, puts their philosophy first instead of what they've got.
Yeah.
Rob, you're the guy who was advocating that when Gusto starts, we don't lose. So you're basically advocating for
because again, I think people overdo it that he's been poor. I don't think he's been as poor as people think that he's been, and people has claimed that he's been. I think he has been very influential, especially for Moresca. Under the Moresca system, it might not have been excellent on the ball, but in making runs, recovery, the pressing, he was excellent in Moresca in doing that, right? On the ball,
it's just sad, man. Honestly, it's just sad when I'm watching him now. I'm like, bro, that player that I saw in that first season, the tech on the ball, like big up Doom. He said it earlier. The way that man used to just like put his studs on the ball, roll it back, drag it back. I remember when we played against Palace. That's one of his best games in the Chelsea top. Yeah, running across the pitch. He ended up getting an assist from the left-hand side for Mudryk, if you guys remember that one, bro. Right? He was cooking that game. Took out 2 players, I remember, with just one drag back with his heels. Like, and I'm watching him now, and I'm like, bro, certain man are like, oh, Gusto's not good in build-up. I'm like, I remember that first season, though. He was so technical on the ball, bro. Like, he was so good in build-up. He was like, that's why when I remember that final, when we played Liverpool in the final, and I saw Gusto, yeah, like, looking shaky, and I'm like, yo, this guy's hella nervous right now, because his touch has been off. He's not been good on the ball. But now it just seems like we just get up and down. You don't know what Gusto you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it's the right time for him to go, because
no, I don't think
I'm looking at Palestra, bro. I think Palestra can play that role better than him. Palestra can cross the ball better than this guy. Gusto's not a great crosser of the ball, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Palestra is Reece James that crossing, but Gusto's crossing, bro. Out of 5, you get 1 decent one. You know what I mean? Most of them just hit the first man. They're not good. You know what I mean? So I feel like offensively, he's just decent, innit? And, you know, it says here, this is coming from Simon Johnson, yeah? He says multiple clubs in the Premier League and Europe are interested in signing Gusto. There's no guarantee that he even goes to Man City. He might go to Man City, but at the end of the day, he might not even go there.
Bayern were linked to him a season 2 ago.
But I believe Bayern will be linked to him. Yeah. I believe PSG
maybe go there.
I believe you can even see Barcelona linked to him. You can see the likes of Man City, because again, people
Barcelona ain't gonna sign him. They've got their fullbacks there. Unless they're selling Koundé, they're not gonna sign him.
I think people think that, you know, what we see Gusto do on the ball is all that there is to football, right? Off the ball, Gusto is very, especially again in the Maresca system, he was very, very integral in his pressing, in his recovery, because he has intensity. He can press. He doesn't get tired very often, and he's very durable. He doesn't get injured very often, right?
That's a very good point.
I don't get why, if you get rid of Gusto, let's even, Palestra gets here and blows it out the water, right? How are you gonna get a backup to Palestra that's better than Gusto? Will you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, listen, I kept questioning before. I kept saying, yo, bring me options that are better, because I look at the right back market, it's dark. You know, I'm always saying,
who are you gonna give me?
I don't see this.
That's gonna be a better alternative. We're talking about we need to improve our squad, and the moment we bought Hato start performing, people start calling for Cucurella to be sold, rather than him to stay and be competition. The moment we buy Palestra, who looks like another quality player, we call for Gusto to be sold. Like, who are you gonna bring me that's a better alternative as a backup to Palestra? Assuming Palestra is gonna be amazing, right? Who are you gonna bring that's gonna be as a backup that's gonna be better than Gusto?
I think, though, of course, you have to take these reports with a pinch of salt. The way that our media is framing it, like Alonso made the phone call, spoke to him, how is he going to play? I think he has what our media is saying is that Alonso has big plans for this Palestra. Like,
yes.
Do you know what I mean? In terms of whatever side he plays. Do you know what I mean? It's probably the easiest thing would be to link Gusto away from the club, right? Because you're right. What you said earlier about Rob, about him looking at players even before pre-season starts and making the decision on them. Gusto might be one of the players he's made a decision on already.
But he could have just got a reference. What's Gusto like? Oh, well, he comes into training late at times. Well, he's a bit sluggish and that. Yeah. Bro, these man all he's got the reports right there. And Xabi, no one can chat to this guy right now about nothing, because no one at Chelsea right now, as we are, has better credentials than this guy as a manager or as a player. They don't know as much as him. So if they're giving him these references, he might be saying, yo, I don't want this, bro. It's time to move him on. He might be saying that.
He's coming in basically like, bro, you came to me for help. I didn't come to you.
Legit.
Do you know Legit. I'm not, listen, you sold yourself to me. I didn't have to sell myself to you. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You made me manager. I didn't even ask to be made manager.
No, facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts, bro. But people, we're gonna finish up there anyway, man. It's been nearly 2 hours and a half. I know we didn't really speak much about Enzo and Chalobah, but I'll be back tomorrow anyway. Even if I've got to go live by myself during the day, I'll do that just to speak to you guys. But I've got to go, bruv. I need to eat. It's hot. I need to get some ice cream from somewhere, bruv, and prepare for the game tonight. Let me go check what games are onto that. Because one thing about me, I don't like rushing through topics, man. I don't want to rush through it. Switzerland and Canada, 8 o'clock. UK,
Scotland,
Bosnia
Brazil,
and Qatar, 8 o'clock.
Scotland, Brazil.
The big ones, Morocco and Haiti, 11, and then Scotland and Brazil is the big one. Sorry, tonight.
Yeah, that's a massive one. That one.
Yeah, I'll watch that. That's going to be at 11 o'clock in the UK. Big up everyone that's not in the UK, in the US, and that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Morocco, I got them in my sweepstake actually with my boys. So yeah, hopefully that these guys join, man. But listen, it's been a lit show today, people. Make sure that you lot smash up the likes. Make sure that you're following the man them. I'm gonna redirect to Saeed. Go put a little. What can we put in Saeed's chat right now, people? What can we go put in Saeed's chat right now?
But Saeed thinks, looking at the fixtures, that 21 is incoming. So
20. Hey, okay. What should we say about that? What should we say about that?
I don't know.
21 incoming. What can we say? What can we say for Saeed?
My brain's gone.
Oh, I need something.
Let's just do this. 21 isn't incoming. Yeah, people, go put that right now. Yeah, let me even spell it properly for you, lot, so you can just go copy that. 21 isn't incoming. Bro. Go spam that in Saeed's chat right now, people, man. But listen, I'll be back tomorrow in a bit. Bless.